Sorry, I hadn't even added it to the stage. I almost didn't show up. Like Arsenal didn't show up today. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Rican reaction. And I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure how to feel. Big up Fraley popping in. Never been more glad to not watch a game. And honestly, I wish I hadn't watched it. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I came on here before the match and I said, you know what? I'm gonna back the thing. I'm gonna be excited. You know, I didn't want it to be a chore to watch Arsenal. And I thought we put in a performance Bournemouth. You know, yeah, Bournemouth are a good team, but we're playing at home. We're not playing, you know, at the Vitality Stadium. We're not playing in Bournemouth. We're playing at home. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say, bro. Big up AJ for stopping by. No heart, no passion, no bollocks, no fight. Yep. Sack him now. We just lost the league. AJ's not happy, and I don't disagree, man. Honestly, Swerve, please knock us out Wednesday. Like I said, AJ, I'll never root or predict Arsenal to lose, but where I don't understand where, you know, the top Gooners find their confidence. How can you be confident watching that? Big up Muhammad. Arsenal, please win the Premier and the Champions League. It's not happening. You can get that. You can get that. Champions League not happening, and the Premier League after today is holding on by a thread. So, I'm dejected, bro. I'm dejected. I came on here after the Champions League, and I said that, you know, I didn't feel great about everything. I said that I was kind of numb, and I said, you know what, I'll be up for the Prem. I'll be up for you know, watching us in the Premier League because it's still a competition I thought we could win. And once again, Arsenal didn't show up. What hurts worse is the fact that Arsenal didn't show up at home. Like, it's not like we were away from home, guys. We were at home in front of our home crowd. And then our manager, right, is talking about bring your lunch, bring your breakfast, bring everything. Why don't you bring some tactics? Why don't you bring some heart, some spirit, some fight, something? You keep telling the fans to bring something. When are you going to bring something? When are you going to bring me silverware? When are you going to bring me an April where we don't throw the league away or we don't throw our trophies away? Stop telling the fans to bring something. You know what? Bring me, you know what I want you to bring me? A new manager. Bring me your replacement. Bring me a copy of your P45. I'm tired. I'm tired of the PR, bro. I want to win. I want to see us win something. We got dumped out of 2 winnable cups. And then we come against Bournemouth, 9 points clear. And we play just like we were played against Southampton. My mate messaged me and he's like, it's Southampton all over again. What did you expect? We've played this way all season, guys. This isn't a new thing. We haven't just started playing this way. We played this way the entire season. The issue is own goals, set pieces, and lucky bounce around goals were helping us win. But guess what? When's the last time we scored a set piece? When the last time an own goal helped us? We got a pin today. A handball. A handball was our only created chance, guys. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Big up AJ. I want us to lose out, so there's no way he doesn't get sacked. I can get why you feel that way. I can get why you feel that way. And after today, it's looking very likely. Big up Jack for stopping by. Southampton bottle, City bottle, Bournemouth. Yeah. We the bottle company. Coca-Cola should be a sponsor. Pepsi. It's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing. And if Manchester City win, which AJ's already predicted that they're going to beat Chelsea 4-0. If they win, bro, they are 6 points behind us. If they beat us, and that if is turning into a win. If they beat us at the Etihad, they're 3 points behind with a game in hand. We have seen this story before. We have seen where we need to win games, and we play a new, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Next weekend, Manchester City 5, Arsenal. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think, we are a little bit upset because of the shambolic performances, but I don't think it's over, which hurts probably a little bit more because Arsenal do this thing where they give us hope. They delay the inevitable, and then at the end, we're watching somebody else lift trophies. We've watched our rivals lift trophies. We've watched Leicester win the trophy, and guess what? Still waiting. So, yeah, if you guys are new in, if you just come in, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and tell me what you think, man. Hit the comments at the bottom. Tell me what you think. Yeah, bro. My head's gone, bro. My head's gone. I'm severely disappointed. Very, very severely disappointed with how we've performed. We had an opportunity to make an account of ourselves, to say, you know what, guys, we've had a tough time. We haven't given the fans what you deserve. Let's come back and show us something. Bro, they didn't show us anything. They didn't show us anything. And our manager's probably going to come out and say, guys, you got to back the team, guy. What do you think, bro? What do you think the fans in the stadium doing? What do you think we doing paying money for TNT Sports, bro? At some point, the players, at some point, the manager, at some point, the sporting director, the board, you guys got to give us something to get behind. Not U-shaped football and hope. Some silverware. I got Manchester United fans. They ain't winning anything this season. And they trolling me. Their team looks like it's on the comeback trajectory. Our team's falling apart. And like someone said, I've said this before. We have the opportunity to be the Buffalo Bills of Prem football. If you guys don't know American football, they went to 4 Super Bowls. They won none. And it is now 2026. And they still have yet to go to another one. Still haven't won a Super Bowl. And they went to those Super Bowls, in the 80s and 90s? They haven't won. Our Arsenal fans give a lot of chess for a team that hasn't won this. They haven't won the big trophy for 20 years. And we back a manager for hope. Bro, you've had 3 opportunities. You've had 1.3 billion pounds of backing. We got rid of the sporting director. We got rid of all of the problem players. Aubameyang, who was still scoring. We got rid of Guendouzi because he had an attitude problem. We didn't go anywhere near Ivan Toney because he had an attitude problem. We got everybody who likes the hair flick and smile and say, yes, boss, we love you. Kai Havertz, Martinelli, Trossard. Oh, the boss is amazing. We love him so much. Yet, what has that gotten us as fans? Dumped out of domestic cups and second place for 3 years. At what point do the fans say, you know what, guys? This ain't good enough. We're the only club that rewards mediocrity. They talking about giving this guy another contract. For what? Like, do we not look at our statistics? Do we not look at the stats, right? So even if he won the league this season, that's 1 league out of, 6? let's say 1 league out of 4 that you possibly could have won. 25% ain't a good stat. What about all the other trophies? The domestics, European. 0. 0 European trophies. 1 FA Cup. 1 out of what? 24? Is that a good record? At that point, 7 years and 1.5 billion spent for 1 league and 1 FA Cup. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? What is it that we're going for? I'm tired, bro. I'm tired, but we're gonna go through the player ratings. That's better. All right. David Raya. David Raya has been our rock. He's been our rock. He's been the guy who's kept us steady at the back. He saved us a lot of times. He saved us in the Champions League just this week. Today, David Raya, poor. Some of the passing, putting us under pressure when he didn't need to. Some of the decision making, 5. That lets you know how these ratings going to be if David Raya is a 5. Ben White, 3. Ben White loses the man on the first goals, not even nowhere near him. Goal. Ben White, 2. Now I think about it. Ben White getting rinsed, and our manager's sitting there looking at him, getting rinsed, being a liability. Ben White, 2. Gabriel Saliba, 4s. I can't give the defense any high ratings. You guys let in 2 goals against Bournemouth. So 4. Miles Lewis-Skelly. Defensively, I would give him a 4. Going forward, I'd give him a 6. So he's going to settle on the 5. Miles Lewis-Skelly is a midfielder. Some of the half-turn moves that he makes, you can see the man's in midfield. He tries to progress the ball. He tries to get things going. And yeah, man, he tries. But he's not a left back. We know this. And our manager continues to plug him in there. Big Up Social says, like clockwork, the coaching is poor, mentality is poor. This guy needs to leave ASAP 6 years in. Look at the football we're playing. Yeah, but people make excuses. Oh, we're playing bad, but we're still getting results. We're still getting 3 points. We're still top of the table. We're still in all the cups. Guess what? We're out of 2 cups. We're barely holding on in the Premier League. And we're only 1 goal up against Sporting Lisbon, a team that we've lost to under this manager in the Europa League. So, yeah. Big Up Scott saying bottle jobs with the laughing emojis. And he said maybe we'll just hand City the league now because it's going to... It hurts, bro. It hurts. I came on here. I was positive. And Scott looks like he's a Man United fan, which, you know, that's what's been in. So, yeah, that's what I've gotten. I've gotten, you know, Man United. And they have all the room to talk because in the 10 years I've been an Arsenal fan, I've watched our best player go to Man United. I watched the worst Man United team we've ever seen beat us in a trophy. I've watched the worst Manchester United teams win the Europa League. And I'm still sitting here hoping and praying. I'm still here hoping and praying, bro. And I'm listening to my fans say, oh, guys, it's okay. We've knocked out of the Carabao Cup. It's okay. We got bigger fish to fry. We're still in the FA Cup. Oh, we got knocked out the FA Cup. It's okay. We got bigger fish to fry. We're in the league. We're in the Champions League. We didn't win the Champions League. We can't beat Bournemouth. We can't beat the worst City team we've seen in 5 years. And we can't beat Southampton. You think we're going to beat Barcelona? Does anyone think we're going to beat Barcelona? Does anyone think we're going to beat Atletico Madrid? Does anyone think that those managers are better? Hansi Flick's a better manager than Arteta. Diego Simeone's a better manager than Arteta. He's already proven it. He's beaten him once before. You look at the other side of the bracket, even if we were to scrape by the glory of God into the final, you're not better than Luis Enrique. I would argue you're not better than Vincent Kompany. Slot, you're definitely not better than if Liverpool were to get it, because you couldn't even score a goal. We couldn't score a goal against Liverpool. And everybody smacking them around for fun. So, yeah, bro. I've been saying all season Arteta doesn't have it to win. I've been saying it for 2. It's nothing new to me. I've been saying it for 2, man. When I go back and forth with my fans, when I go back and forth with, because it's mostly my fans that I go back and forth with, because I hear all this, oh, we're going to win the league. We're going to win the shit. What proof do you have? I'm a person, I like to look at things based on evidence. I like to look at it based on what I've seen. There is no time under this manager that we've won something with this current iteration that we were ahead in. The All or Nothing documentary, we were ahead in that. All we had to do was beat one team and get ahead of Tottenham into top 4. We bottled that to Tottenham. Second, the first year of challenging, all we had to do was beat the Minnows. Nope, we bottled that as well. The year after that, 8-point lead versus City, bottled that. The year after that, City's falling off. Liverpool is struggling. Nope, we're going to be worse than Liverpool. Arne Slot's just come in with what's left of Jurgen Klopp's team, wins the league. This season, we're top most of the season. Oh, yeah, we're going to win it. It's cakewalk. Yeah, look at us now. We always fall apart in April. The commentator said that the 2 managers in April, right? April is Arteta's worst month for points and statistically. April is Guardiola's best month statistically. So if I'm looking, who do I trust more? Do I trust Arteta to get over the line when he shows that he's never done it in the last 6 years with this version of the team? Or do I trust Pep Guardiola, who's done it consistently, who's clawed back victories? Liverpool finished with 98 points. They still did not win the league because Pep Guardiola said, nah, this is ours to win. Once they see blood in the water, it's over, bro. And there's no time that Arsenal Football Club under this manager has shown that we have the minerals, the heart, the fight to stay in the match, in the race, and win something. He got rid of all the winners. Everybody's talking about how bad Unai Emery was. He got us to a final. Yes, we got embarrassed. But we got embarrassed. We've been embarrassed for 6 years under this dude. And we're still talking about Unai Emery being embarrassed once. But that Unai Emery team that was left, that won the FA Cup, that kept this manager in job. Because if he hadn't won the FA Cup, guess what? We'd be here 7 years, no trophies. And people still telling us, feel the vibes. North London forever. Oh, warm and fuzzy. Bro, I'm tired of it. There's nowhere for this dude to hide. Big he said, all down here from now, Carrick better managing Arteta, come on. You can't argue it. Everyone's saying how bad Manchester United was. Oh, they could be facing relegation. They're mid-table. And guess what? They're third. And you're looking at them, and it's like, well, if they had gotten a different manager, could they have challenged? Now, what I will say about Manchester United, you guys aren't in every competition. You've only got one competition a week, and it's easy for you to have a week off and play games. It does look good. Can Carrick do it when? Can he do it when he has 3 or 4 competitions to be in? Can he do it when he has Europe to contend with? There's a difference. My issue is, our manager hasn't shown that he can do it. The guy can't rotate his squad. That's why half of our players look exhausted. The other half look like they have no clue. You sent a player on loan that could have helped us get over the line. You're relying on a 16-year-old who's still in school doing GCSEs. And we're supposed to back everything. Bring your lunch pails. Bring your breakfast. Bring your shin pads and boots. Nah, bro. Bring your tactics. Bring your squad rotation. 15 to 3rd. Big jump, bro. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Back to the line. Back to the player ratings. Zubamendi, 0. 0. Zubamendi gets a 0. He was awful. I don't remember a time where Zubamendi was on the ball. Maybe because he's not fully fit, but he gets a 0. I usually give a 1 for showing up and put your jersey on. You don't get that. 0. Declan Rice is the captain. 5. I think he ran. His delivery was on and off. Some of his deliveries was good. Some of his delivery was kind of meh. But I felt like he kept trying. But that ain't good enough to get a high rating from me. Kai Havertz, -2. The best thing he did was stand over the ball for Victor Gyökeres. 0. 0. That's the best thing Havertz did. He stood over the ball. He made it look like he was taking a pen, and he moved out the way. That's the best thing he's done. He moved out the way to let a pen taker take it. But then it meant nothing because we sucked. So 0. I'm going to group Nani Madueke and Martinelli together. No, I won't. Madueke gets a 3. He can run at people, but he ran the ball out of play so many times, bro. I don't know. Like, he has good skill moves, but he has a heavy touch. 3. Martinelli, 0. Martinelli, I never, bro, and it's sad for me to say this because I really like Gabriel Martinelli in the beginning. 0. He need to go. Gabriel Martinelli needs to be the first person out of this club. Kai Havertz needs to be right behind him. That's my opinion, bro. Martinelli won't get any better than what he is. He will not get better than what he is. So 0. Victor Gyökeres. I'm gonna give him a 6, and because he scored the pen, man of the match. And it's hard. He only gets one because he scored the goal. He gets 1 point because he scored the goal, man of the match. But they all sucked. So, yeah. Mascara, Eze, Dauman, Trossard, and Jesus. They all came on. Dauman tried. He's young. He tried to make something happen. He gets a 5. The rest of them get 3s because they didn't do anything. Eze especially. Because I don't think he's fully fit. Other than that, we terrible, bro. We terrible. I'm going to get back into your comments because I want to talk about the stats. I'm not a stat merchant, but I want to talk about the stats. Let's read some of your comments. Social said, these owners putting up prices for us to watch this rubbish, get rid of this coach. He's been overhanded. He's not. He's not shown us at any point this guy can win. He's not a serial winner. This is my thing, and I've been consistent with this. If he had been winning the domestic trophies, okay, we finished second, but we won the FA Cup. Okay, we finished second, but we won the Carabao Cup. You know, we finished second, but we got to the European final. Bro, we're clapping getting to for the first final in 5 years. We're clapping the Carabao Cup first final in 5 years. We couldn't get to the final FA Cup. The man hasn't reached the semifinal of the FA Cup since he won the darn thing, right? The Champions League final, we haven't got there once under this manager. We couldn't even get to the Europa League final. And then we finished second 4 times in a row. But let's give you an extension, Mikel. We have faith in you. No, I don't. I don't care if he won the league. He got to go. Scott said, to be honest, I don't want Carrick as United manager at all. I think this time by next season, Carrick will be gone. This is, and I'm completely honest, this is a football channel. Yes, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I watch football. I look at football. And the one thing I say about Manchester United have been struggling, but they are still Manchester United. If Manchester United get a Luis Enrique, if they get a top-level coach, a Hansi Flick, Luis Enrique, Carlo Ancelotti, and they get the right people behind him, Manchester United will be above us again. They've taken banter because Radcliffe is a goofball, and so is the Glazers. They're all goofballs, right? And that's why Manchester City have not been doing well. I mean, not Manchester City, Manchester United haven't been doing well. But if they can get everything right behind the scenes in the football room, and they get a man like Enrique, because they still have that pull, we could be in trouble playing U-shaped football while City start winning. Liverpool will slot. They'll probably get, what's his name? Xabi Alonso. So they'll have a new manager. And then Manchester United say, you know what? I know you just signed a contract, Enrique, but we're Manchester United. We'll give you whatever you want. Now you've got 3 coaches who are better than Mikel Arteta, and you're expecting us to compete again. Bro, it's a pipe dream. It is what it is. But we'll keep him on, though, because we're sentimental, and he was close, and he made us feel fuzzy. He brought us North London forever. We're happy, guys. He told us to bring our lunch pails, and we did. And we'll just keep going. Come on, you Gunners. Yeah. Big up AFC always. He said, bring your breakfast and bring your lunch. Right now we have food poisoning. How about you bring us silverware? How about you bring us some different tactics? How about you bring us squad rotation? How about you bring some of the academy kids through to ease the legs of these guys who are running and running? Zubamendi, man, just got back from an injury. He's right back to it, bro. This man doesn't know how to man manage. But guess what? We'll give him another contract because we don't want anybody taking Mikel. Nobody wants that dude, bro. Barcelona will not accept this football. Real Madrid will not accept this football. Bayern Munich, they will not accept this football. So, yeah, bro. Arsenal will, though. Spicy Tottenham. That's what we acting like. Sesko better than Flop? No, he's not. He's not. Even though this attack has been crippled, he's still scoring goals, Victor Gyökeres. So, no, he's not. Moving on. Unai Emery embarrassed once. Big up, Jack. Arteta got embarrassed and kicked out of 2 cups and living. Yeah. I mean, losing to Southampton has become a regular. Losing or drawing to Southampton has become a regular occurrence. And Bournemouth, let's be honest, right? If you live in the UK, Bournemouth is probably a smaller club than Southampton is. Their stadium is small. Bournemouth are punching above their weight. Let's be completely honest. Just like Brighton, most of the South Coast clubs are not the biggest clubs. So you're losing to Southampton, losing to Bournemouth, losing to Brighton. My first ever match was losing to Brighton. But we had this amazing team. Yeah, losing league in the space of 2 weeks. We're out of 2 cups and holding on to the league by a thread. But this manager is supposed to be on par with Simeone, mentioned in the same breath as George Graham and Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, the man won't even say Arsene Wenger's name in an interview. They ask him about Arsene. He never gives credit to him when he's the one who brought him. I have not heard this man say one time, Arsene Wenger, thank you so much for bringing him to the club. I love the club, whatever. Not one time. The arrogance. But fans are quick to say, oh, this guy, he could be better than Wenger. At what? Bottling? Wenger at least won FA Cups. What this guy won? Nothing. David Raya had second most passes for Arsenal today. Listen, David Raya played our couple line-breaking passes. So apparently, Zuperman is supposed to be this line breaker. Kai Havertz is supposed to be a space invader. I watched David Raya make more line-breaking passes than our number 10. I watched us get to the edge of the box, and instead of getting the ball in, let's pass it back to David Raya. You know what? Maybe we should play David Raya at number 10. See if maybe we can get a couple goals. Scott said we got a top manager to be over for the league, and he got back fully with players to fit the system and be over. Yeah, what's his name? Amarim, Arteta, and Rossini. They're these system managers. Their system has to be everything. The way they play has to be everything. And bro, the best managers in the world. Carlo Ancelotti, not a system manager, bro. He has his philosophy. He has what he wants to see, but he lets his attackers free. And he won everything Real Madrid. And they still got rid of him. Zinedine Zidane, same way. You have a system, but you have to let your players play. Not us. We get in front of goal and have nosebleeds. AFC said, I didn't say Bournemouth scored first. We ain't winning. Yeah, bro. And their first goal, diabolical. But let me switch because I want to show this. I want to show our statistics, right? 12 shots to their 8 shots. Both of us had 3 shots on target. One of them, for us, was the penalty. And the 2, I don't remember the other 2, but I do know the first half we had 0 shots at home against Bournemouth. Very kind of even with possession against Bournemouth, a team that are, trying to get up. We'll look at the table in a minute as well. We had more passes, less fouls, less yellow cards. We had 2 offsides. Gyökeres had 1 that probably should have been offside. But this is, can you guys see my mouse? This is what 10 corners. 10 corners, 3 shots on target. 10 corners, 3 shots on target. They had 3 shots on target and scored 2 goals. That means that only one of their shots on target didn't go into the back of the net. And only one of ours did. So what's the issue? At home, 3 shots on target out of a possible 12 because we kept kicking them into no man's land. But let's look at the table. Let's look at the table, right? I like to look at the table, right? We're top of the league, 9 points clear of Manchester City. Bournemouth are in 9th place behind Everton. Behind Everton. Which, before this, that means that they were what? Because they've gotten 45. They were at 42. So it must have been around, what, 12th, 13th? Jumped 5 places by beating us. And people will look at this and say, Oh, but we've only lost one in the last 5. Bro, all it takes is 2 losses and it's over. We've seen this before. Big up Ignatius Manjaro. I'm gutted. Oh my God, we rebattling the EPL. We have never been this close to winning the league. Now we're handing it to City. We need Timber and Saka back. It's doable. No, bro, I'll be completely honest. Timber and Saka is not coming over the hill to help us. Timber's legs are gone because our manager is running him into the ground. And Saka, as we've seen, he's become predictable. I don't think Timber and Saka come back next week. We still probably get peppered by Manchester City at home. We got peppered by Manchester City at Wembley, a neutral ground. You think we're going to the Etihad to beat them? Look at this, man. Liverpool, the champions. Nowhere close. We 21 points ahead of them? And still might bottom the league. Brentford, Chelsea. We expect Chelsea. Look at Chelsea's form. 1 win in the last 5. 3 losses. We expect them to beat City? Stop it, bro. Give that dream up. That's not happening. They ain't beating City. Right? Look at the table, bro. Let me see if I can click on our next matches. These are the matches we got left. Sporting, I think we'll get through there. Because we're no pressure FC. We'll beat Sporting and then we'll get peppered in the next one. Man City. If you guys think we're winning that, it ain't happening. Look at the next one. Newcastle. Team that we've lost to before when we were in the title race. Everybody remember? Joe Willock? Fulham. Bunch of ex-Arsenal players. They'd be happy to get a dub. A couple of ex-Tottenham players as well. Happy to get a dub. West Ham fighting for their survival. Fighting for their lives. They're not going to roll over. They didn't roll over. They didn't roll up last night. And by that time, they might have played Tottenham already. Burnley, we should be beaten because they're pretty much down. And then Crystal Palace. These 3 matches right here could determine whether or not we actually could win the league. But at this moment in time, how I feel right now, I don't think we win the league. I'm being completely honest. I don't think we win the league. It might change if City drop points tomorrow and we draw against City. Then I'd be like, ooh, maybe we might just scrape it. But I'm not holding my breath. And you shouldn't either. Let's take a look at City's matches. Chelsea, us. Burnley, that's a win. Southampton, that's a win. Everton, should be a win. Brentford, Bournemouth, and Villa. Bro, I'm not confident. I'm not confident. Yeah, let me get that off screen, bro. I'm not confident. So yeah. That's our run-in, guys. That's our run-in. That's what we have to contend with, everyone. Jack said, $1 billion worth of spending for this mediocre performance. We had the talent, but not the tactics. We don't have, we neither have the tactics nor the heart, man. We don't have the fight. Like sometimes, you know, as I said, you guys know I coach American football. Sometimes I say something tactically and my players go against it because I'm not on the field. I can't see what they see. So my quarterback, I might have called a run play. And my quarterback says, nah, they stacked the box. I can't change that now. I've made the call. My quarterback says, nah, I see something else. And the players at some point have to do the same. Bro, button this guy. And you know what? This is the thing that we did last season against Real Madrid, while everybody's jocking, you know, our Champions League performance. Because the coach is yelling, cross the ball. Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka step up and say, it's not on. I ain't crossing. And we beat Real Madrid because the players said no. What's happening now? Why can't the players say, bro, I'm tired of this U-shaped football. Let's just, what are you going to do? Sub us all off? No. Shoot. Hope for the best. No, none. Bro, we've only had 3 shots on target. And I'm pretty sure majority of our shots came from corners. So, from open play, we ain't creating nothing. Bro, take a shot. Hope for the best, bro. But no, we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing over and over again, bro. Gyökeres got service and suck that executing. He's bad at headers. Needs some offensive training. Penalties and tap-ins from 2 feet is not enough. You know what? You know what's crazy? We have one of the greatest strikers, the greatest Premier League player of all time, who's from our club, the man who wore this, Thierry Henry. Is he around the club helping? Is he around the club teaching our young players? No. Them guys, Robert Pires, are they around the club? No. Patrick Vieira, no. Tony Adams, no. Because this manager doesn't want anyone who challenges him. He doesn't want anyone to challenge his authority. But guess what? You can't tell Tony Adams. You can't tell Tony Adams about being a winner because he won. You can't tell Thierry Henry about being a winner because he won everything. And that's why these guys aren't around. Mikel Arteta likes to keep guys around that don't challenge his authority, that don't challenge his tactics, that don't challenge what he's saying. That's why he got rid of Aubameyang. That's why he got rid of all of our old players. For yes men. Gabriel Jesus came out and said that he's not a goal scorer. Goal scoring isn't his great thing. It's not what he's good at. This man's still at the club making £265,000 a week. $265,000 of the king's finest Great British pound a week to not be a good goal scorer. So yeah, Jack said we can't be Bournemouth at home, we won't be City away. And big up Ozzy Ange. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. He said, hello, sir. Christian from AOTV just came out and said fans need to stop overreacting and trust the process. Trust the process? What have we been doing for 5 years? Trusting the process. And guess what? I still ain't seen a trophy. Still a long way to go. No, there's not. We got 6 weeks. 6 weeks to go. It's not a long way. It got 6 weeks. 6 games, 6 weeks. That's what we have to go. It's not like we have half a season. We have 6 weeks. We are match week 32. Done. He's predicting Man City 0, Arsenal 4 next. Bro, stop. Some of those guys, some of those content creators, they say this ridiculous thing. They say this big score lines. Like somebody predicted 6-0 today, and we lost. But if we win 6-0, then they say, guess what? Oh, I saw it coming. I'm some sort of, oracle. No, you're not. You're a sensationalist. I'm not a sensationalist. I ain't predicting that. I'm not going to predict us to lose, so I'm going to go with a draw. I'll tell you that right now. If you're going to come here and predict a loss, I can't do it. It's not in my heart to do it. So like when AJ came in here and he said that he hopes that we kind of lose to get rid of this guy, I can't feel that way. I love Arsenal. I love the badge. I love the club. And I never want us to lose. Doesn't matter how upset I am, I never want us to lose. It's like a marriage, bro. Yeah, my wife, does she irk me sometimes? Yes. But I never want to lose her. I never want to we're a partnership. This Arsenal thing, Arsenal is my true love. I talked about it. Sevilla is my first love. Arsenal is my true love. I never want us to lose. I never want us to be in a position to where we're down in the dumps. You know, and we were there. We were there mid-table, battling for fifth. We were there. And this guy was supposed to be the great manager, the guy to take us out of it. Guess what, guys? If you look at where we are, we're getting seriously close to being where we were when he started. Let's be honest. Our wage bill is inflated. You got guys, bro, people over 200K, Havertz, Jesus. We just barely got rid of Zinchenko. Who else? Who else is on the inflated? We trebled, quadrupled Calafiori's wage. Trossard's on high. Martinelli's on high. Saka's on high wages. Madueke's on high wages. These aren't game changers, bro. Saka could have been, but his hamstrings are gone. And he hasn't gotten the coaching to evolve. So, yeah, man. It's all the sensationalism. I can't be sensational. I don't feel like I'm overreacting because I've just watched us in the last 3 weeks get pummeled out of 2 cups. Barely scraped by Sport Lisbon, and you got fans saying, oh, that was Mikel Arteta's game plan. Yeah, that's how we want to play. We got a late goal. And now we just got destroyed by Bournemouth. 6-0. We're lucky to score 6 goals in a month. Big up the Arsenal lives or Arsenal lives, either or. Thanks for stopping by. We're looking to score 6 goals in a month. I think 6 goals is generous. At this point, I think it's generous. I take about 3, maybe 4. If we can score more than 1 a match, I'd be over the moon at this point. But we can't because, you know, we score 1 goal, we get to a draw, and then we sit there and we wait. Big up, Ricky. Ricky is one of the guys that I see at work because, as I told you on this channel, I'm very recognizable when I talk a lot of trash. And he said, "Are you at work Monday? Can't wait to see you and Mark." Mark is, you know, one of the bus drivers. So is Ricky. Ricky's a Liverpool fan, and Mark's an Arsenal fan, and we get the mick taken out of us. But that's what I deserve. I deserve this. This is what this club does to me, right? I'm getting bantered on my channel when I go to work, when I'm at work, when I'm at the shop. Like, I'm getting bantered left and right. But I got Mikel Arteta telling me, oh, bring your boots, bring your shoes, bring your lunch. I'm tired of it, bro. Stop feeding me the PR. Diabolical stuff, bro. Stop feeding me the PR. I'm over it. So yeah. I will go into work Monday, and I gotta hold that. I have to hold that. That's the joys of being an Arsenal fan. But big up Ricky for stopping by. Jack said Arteta's too stubborn to have an alpha male around him. He would get it. And that point is exactly why I think people like Aubameyang, people like Xhaka were ushered out of the club. Because all it takes, Jack, is one player with a little bit of steel, a little bit of heart to say, listen, I ain't got to deal with this. This guy ain't playing. This guy ain't won nothing. What did you win as a player? Nothing? What did you win this is why we won't get those big players. This is why we won't get those serial winners with attitudes. Ivan Toney didn't want them. Because Ivan Toney steps in and says, bro, I'm not going deep. You pass the ball to me. That's why we wanted Benjamin Sesko. Bro, Benjamin Sesko came out and said, I don't want to come here because Kai Havertz has a starting role, and I don't know if I can beat him. Perfect Mikel Arteta player. Oh, boss, I'm so happy to be here. Oh, I'll sit behind Kai. Oh, yeah, I think I can beat Kai. No. Yakarev's like, bro, bun Kai. Look at me. 100 goals. Forget that dude, right? But guess what? we kept going Kai Havertz. We kept trying everything else instead of Gyökeres. And even now, Gyökeres still got to drop deep. Still got to go to the left. The man can't get a through ball to save his life. But yeah, that's where we are. Ozian says the only quad Arsenal getting second. Yeah. No, we're getting what did somebody say? We're getting the Champions League, the Prem, Tottenham getting relegated, and there was another thing. I forgot what it was. Some BS, right? Bro, our fan base they give me indigestion. Not all of them, but some of them. It's just like Christian talking about four. Bro, we couldn't beat Bournemouth, who are sitting in ninth, and Southampton, who are sitting at seventh in the championship. But we're gonna go beat Manchester City. Stop it, bro. Big up, coach. And I'm so disappointed today. Worst performance I've seen in a long time. It's not the worst I've seen. Have you watched the last 3 matches? They're awful. Christian can tell his mom's to trust the process. Nah, I'm tired. I'm tired of the trust the process, bro. The last trust the process I saw was the Philadelphia 76ers, and guess what? Them boys still ain't made it to the NBA Finals. So I don't want to hear nothing about trusting the process. Coach said, my new girlfriend who doesn't watch football watched the game with me. I was embarrassed. She said, why did they keep passing back to Ryan? It says it all. Tactics to draw. Mikal plays not to. Exactly. Bro, and I said it earlier. Raya was the line-breaking passer today. Our goalkeeper was passing through the lines. So yeah, this is what we're relegated to, bro. Just hold on, because they're working on an extension for this guy. So just hold on. Either if we win, because this is my thing, right? If we win the title playing this way, there's no evidence that proves that Mikel Arteta will go back to the old. Because why would he? I want a title playing ugly football. I can do it again. It's just going to get worse. Strap in. Coach said, not a matter of Instagram player really. Bro, I just want you guys to know we haven't been linked with it yet, but I'm pretty sure we owe Chelsea some more money. So if you've been looking at Garnacho lately, wouldn't be surprised if Garnacho makes his way to that left wing. I'm just saying. Prepare yourselves. Ricky said, at least you have a Carabao. Oh, wait. FA Cup. Oh, wait. Listen, you're a Liverpool fan. Y'all ain't got nothing. You won't even finish in the top 4. Stop it. You ain't winning nothing this year. You won last season. And that ball fraud you got as a manager, you need to get him out. And then we can talk about Liverpool. Nah, I'm not having it. Coach, your new girl is paying more attention than... Bro, my wife is who got me into Arsenal, and she's become kind of a casual. Even if she says, when are we going to start playing the ball forward? And my wife sits there on her phone, looks up every now and then, when we can start playing the ball forward. Then she went to the room. She came back. I said, what do you think the score was? She said, did you guys score? I said, what do you think? She's like, nah, probably not. No, we didn't. We lost. Bro, she's a casual fan. Even she knows that this is boring. My wife, right, when we started watching Arsenal, we had Giroud, we had Ozil, we had Santa Cazorla had gotten injured. We had Giroud, Ozil, you had Alexis Sanchez, you had Aaron Ramsey, you had Jack Wilshere, even Hector Bellerin. Whipping in crosses. And now I gotta watch U-shaped football. I gotta watch Odegaard do hair flicks and pass the ball backwards. Thanks. I appreciate it. We got rid of Arsene Wenger for that. Reset positive thought. You're still topping the lead for now. Yeah, it won't be too much longer. We can't even limp our way to the league title looking like another disastrous season. Bro, You guys can see in real time that people from the place that I work are taking the mick out of me here on YouTube. Just know that if we do not win the league, I got to go into hiding. But if we don't win the league this season, I might seriously start thinking about doing severe watch-alongs. They are 15th in a relegation battle, but at least I know that they're mid-table, and I can have a little bit of joy watching them win and lose because I know what the standards are. They're trying to get into that top four. They're trying to get into Europe instead of having this team that we have now, the entire team, 100% healthy is good enough to win the Premier League. This team right now, even not fully fit, is good enough to win the Premier League. But our manager and our tactics is holding us back. And look, guys, this is what we got. I was going to say, end of the day, end of the season when Arsenal win snitching up against top Gooners will hit the reset button. And then next season, they'll predict another quad again. Yeah, bro. This is, and I have people in the group chat, man, talking about, it's this season. I said this. Me and a mate of mine, we were in there and we're saying this football is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. We were barely scraping by with own goals and set pieces. It's not sustainable. And they were like, oh, you're just negative. You're just negative. And now that we're losing, it's just like, it's okay. We're still top. It's okay. I won't judge to the end of the season. Oh, if we don't win anything, then Arteta might leave. No, bro, leave. That thinking, that positivity, no matter what happens, thinking is why this man is still in the job. It's why he's still here scamming the living. And it's not an overreaction. We've seen 5 years of evidence that this man cannot get over the line. Now, even if he does do it now, I think our board should have some conversation and say, do we think this guy is the man to take us forward? In 6 years, he's only got us one trophy or 2 trophies at that point. When we spent over £1 billion. And we've watched our rivals, Liverpool, win everything. We've watched our rivals, Manchester United, crumbling apart, still winning European trophies. We watched our rivals, Chelsea, winning the Club World Cup and the Champions League. We're watching, Manchester City clean up, Man United. We've even watched Tottenham Hotspur win a European trophy before this manager. But it's okay, guys. We're working on a contract extension because he deserves it. What a goalkeeper playmaker. Yeah, man. He's the most. David Raya is the most attacking goalkeeper in the world, guys. The pins drip, bro. This is what I'll say, Coach, on the pin thing, right? So, and I've talked about it. Being an American football coach, I've tried some things like this. I've tried some things to get the players together to get us on the same page, but usually it's done at the beginning of the season. It's done, when we're still new. You've got new players in. You've got, new way of setting things. You do little drills and stuff to keep everything going. You say, and I had, the shimmel of shame. And what the shimmel of shame was, in a match where you have someone do something goofy and it turns out in a bad play when it's something fundamental, you give them the shimmel of shame. You give them the shimmel of shame. You tell them what they've done wrong, you give them the shimmel of shame. Or we have a good player and they're obviously good and they drop the ball, or they're obviously good and they get spun. It happens, but you say you wear the shimmel of shame because you've done that wrong. But don't worry, we'll fix it. And it's not a negative thing, but the players buy into it. They're like, oh, we don't want the shimmel of shame, and I'll be better because I don't want the shimmel of shame. Things like that work. But, bro, we're 6 years in. You're 4 years with most of these players. Bro, button the pin drills. Give me some real drills to win. Give me some set-piece drills. Give me some shooting from outside the box drills. I'm tired of the PR, bro. Tired of the PR. Big up, Godfrey said, can't see out as well. Yeah, Venom. Jabu, he says, it's clear Kepa is not the problem. No, Arteta's the problem. Kepa is the problem, though, because he got flappy hands. But as far as how we attack and how we defend, it's all the regiment. It's all regimented. So, yeah, that's what it is. Rick is starting early. He couldn't wait, bro. For real. Ricky could not wait for me to get to the bus, because there might be for me there might be an opportunity that I might show up early or late and I might not see him. I duck in the car like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I just duck in the car, look like my car empty because I seen him coming. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but I hold that. I gotta hold that. You know what I'm saying? And they know. I gotta wait the whole bus ride to work. Getting embarrassed. But that's what I've had to do as an Arsenal fan. I've been in the United Kingdom. In England, in the United Kingdom, I came here from South Florida. I've been here since 2018. I have yet to see Arsenal in a trophy parade. Obviously, the FA Cup was the COVID, couldn't be out there. I've watched Portsmouth have a trophy parade before I've watched Arsenal have one. And I've still got people telling me, oh, trust the process. Trust the process. Big up Tyrell, big up Shane Gooner. Thank you for stopping by as always. Jack, the way she laughed at me, I was disgraced. Yeah, bro. She's a keeper. She's keeping it real. Yeah. There's a time Bournemouth had 2 players down on the floor. Instead of counterattacking, we slowed the game down, allowed them to gain shape again. Bro, that's what we do. We always slow down. That's what we do. That's how Arteta won. We don't know how to counter anymore. And I've seen it time and time again this season. We got somebody on the break, and you've got Martinelli running, and all you have to do is pass left to right, and we hold on to the ball. Odegaard is disastrous for it. The man literally has a space he can try to get the ball into, and he's so scared to lose it. Let's just recycle it back to Ryan. Man needs a new job. Yeah, bro. Facts. These players aren't so terrible. Bro, any capable manager, Simeone, Ancelotti, Flick. I mean, I would even, bro, it's sad. I think I'd even take Cesc Fabregas at this point, because I think Cesc could actually turn this around as well, right? And I don't want another project manager, but any competent, non-ego-driven manager could get these players into a position to win it all. Not this guy, though. He doesn't. My problem with Mikel Arteta is he doesn't look at his mistakes and say, how can I make this better? He looks at his mistakes and says, let's double down. And if you got guys, thank you, Quadra. If you got guys who have channels in the chat, pop them in there for me. You know what I'm saying? Go like, share, and subscribe to them. And if you're new here, like, share, and subscribe here. So, yeah. Said Diego Simeone would cook with Capia, Kyla, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. Our team built for world-class coach, Mikel. Bro, the man, he's still working on his first bit, bro. He's still working on his first job. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should not have given the keys to the 3rd biggest club in England to a guy who's never had a managing position before. That's like if I've got a Ferrari in the garage and my little brother has just gotten his permit. You know, he's just passed his driving test. Here you go, bro. Here's the Ferrari. And I expect him not to mash all my gears up. That's what we've done with Arsenal. Eventually he'll get it, but my gears will be mashed by then. Because he just passed the driving test. We've literally done that to Mikel Arteta. We've said, oh, you have no coaching. I get it if he came from Real Oviedo, if he came from, you know, Lens in France, you know, he came from a championship club. We've seen what he's done. We've seen his style of play. Get it? And I think that part of that is kind of the American way of doing things, you know, because, you know, Americans, we usually get assistant coaches because, you know, you have that opportunity. As an offensive coordinator, you're hoping that they take the step on the defensive side of the ball to, you know, become a head coach. And some of it works, some of it doesn't. But it's in America. There's so many coaches with experience that you can give an opportunity to, and you decided to give a guy who's literally just come out of playing. He wasn't a great player. He wasn't a Pep Guardiola level player. He was an assistant coach. He's putting out tones, and we don't actually know what his style of play is. Oh, let's figure it out at the 3rd biggest club in England. Yeah, that's great. So, yeah. Coach said, even if he does it, it's done. I'm not betting £10 per game against Arsenal. Rather make money now. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Because you probably spent all the money to watch them. You probably spent all the money on merch. And I'm guilty, bro, because I'm the Don of dopamine. Everybody knows this. I let the dopamine take me. So I go to the Armory. I get me a one kit to start the year. And then as the bit goes on and we win the Champions League, or, we get a couple free kicks and we get high in this. Yeah, I go on the Armory website and I'm vulnerable. That's what it is. I'm vulnerable. But not this season, bro. This season, I got my first kit because of Gyökeres, because I thought he would bang. And he's now starting to try to do it, but this manager's holding him back. And I found the third kit in a vintage shop. That's it. Big up Tyrell. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I love when other channels stop by, man. It means I'm doing something right. Coach said that's true. Spoken like a true coach. Done at the start of the season, not mid-season. Look so stupid. Yeah, bro. Don't get me wrong. You can do team building things in the middle of the season, right? Like, if for American football, you've got playoffs. So you might do that before the playoffs to say, we've made the playoffs. Let's get our team back together. Let's get us cohesive. But ain't no playoffs here, bro. We'll keep doing it week after week, bro. How much closer can these players? They're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go camping. We're gonna have to rent a hotel and all sit in a circle and talk about our feelings for them to get any closer. If you can't get close by now, match week 32, it ain't happening, bro. Try something else. How about you give us some good tactics? How about you let your attackers attack? How about you allow Lewis Skelly to be a midfielder? How about you you let Diamond just create and make a chaos and make a mess? How about you stop playing Kai Havertz? And please, 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 please stop playing Martinelli. I'm tired of it. Martinelli is not Brazilian. Revoke his Brazilian passport. If I was Brazilian, I'd be embarrassed for Martinelli. Please revoke his Brazilian passport. Send him, I would say Ecuador, but Nkape probably don't even want him there either. I don't know. Send him somewhere, anywhere else except for Brazil, because he's making y'all look bad, bro. If that's the Martinelli you getting in the World Cup, Brazil, you might be out in the knockout stages because it's not great. Tyrell said we're shocking. That's an understatement. Shocking is probably the only word that we could probably think of now. But I have a couple of not safe for work words that I could probably use. Big up the legend that is Shane Gooner. Stopping by. Look at me, this humble little channel. Like I said, I told people at the League Cup final, total capitulation from here on out. And yeah, you did. I pop in there and 100% right, man. Like, you would think that the League Cup we lost, any team with a little bit of steel, any team with a fight would have came back versus Southampton and said, okay, we lost the League Cup. We let our fans down. We let ourselves down. Let's go battle Southampton and batter them. Nope. We rolled over for them as well. Okay. We rolled over against Southampton. We're knocked out of 2 cups. Let's come back in the Champions League and show some steel, put in a good performance away from home. Nope. Rolled over, got lucky with one chance. Kai Havertz showed that he can finally get his feet together. There we go. Martinelli looked up for the first time in, 3 years. And there we go. We got to go. Everybody's gassing again. And here we come. Back at home, embarrassing ourselves. So, yeah. Ozzy said, afternoon, shocking defeat. Just glad I got 8-1 odds a few weeks ago at Man City to win the title. Yeah, man. You might make you a little bit of change. You'll be sad because we lost, but at least you'll have a little bit of money, man. That's all you can hope for with this team. Shane said Timber will be rushed back now. I've already had somebody in the group chat talk about we need Timber and Saka back. Like it's gonna change anything. Like, it's gonna change us if Timber and Saka. No, bro, Timber coming back is not gonna help our attack. Our attack is the problem. It'll help us defensively. We won't, maybe we won't concede as easy. But our attack is the problem. We're not scoring goals. Without this pin that we got for a handball, what else do we create as far as goal threat? Shane bigging up Ozzy, big up. Ricky said Liverpool ain't winning anything, and I admit that. We're poor. But any chance you can list what you've won the last 6 years and what Liverpool won? Don't worry, Mark is getting messages. And I got to be honest, I've already said this. Liverpool have won everything. Liverpool won everything with the best Manchester City team we've seen. Klopp did a great job in taking things off of Manchester City, which is why I don't understand why Liverpool fans are taking the mick out of Arsenal fans when Manchester City came into your house, laid on your couch with their dirty shoes, wiped them all over your couch, and then told you to clean it up for a decade. But people are taking the mick out of Arsenal fans. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, Liverpool fans being against Arsenal. If anything, you want Arsenal to beat Manchester City. Those are your rivals. You know what I'm saying? Liverpool rivaled Arsenal once in '89, and we won. Is that what they're salty about? Something that happened, 35 years ago? 35 plus years ago. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you mad at Manchester City? Why don't you want Manchester City to lose? They've been violating your house for a decade. Doing backflips on your couch, stealing out your fridge. And we talking about Arsenal. I don't get it, but that's just me. Oh, Ozzy Ange is a Spurs fan. That makes sense though with the Ange thing. I thought that was just your name, but it's good. Welcome. Hey, for my first Spurs fan. Welcome to my humble community. Rick, so we got a Liverpool fan and a Spurs fan. And even I was pissed off with that performance. Arteta's a micromanager who's out of ideas, and a club like Arsenal surely must pull the plug. No, because you got, bro, this is the thing, right? And like I said, I am a football guy. I am a football guy, right? I can pull the banter aside to talk about football, right? I've watched Spuds be the worst team one of the worst top 6 teams we've ever seen. I watched Ange say, I always win something in my second year, and he delivered. He beat Manchester United, a team that we lost to in the FA Cup. We couldn't beat Manchester United, and they were awful. Beat them in the Europa League and lifted a trophy. I had to seriously use my eyeball. This is why I'm wearing glasses now. My eyeballs had to witness a Tottenham Hotspur trophy parade. And I've got Arsenal fans telling me, don't worry about it. It's just the Mickey Mouse Cup. It's the second cup. It's not the same as it used to be. Bro, we lost to Olympiacos and Sporting Lisbon. We couldn't even get to the final. And they didn't, they beat some scrubs, but they also had to beat Manchester United, who we lost to. And guess what? They won their first European trophy in donkey's years, and they still been them. I don't know if that was a good idea with how they're going now, because something is fundamentally wrong at Spurs, and it's mostly in the back office. But they have more ambition to say, yeah, great, you won the Europa League, ain't good enough, bye. That's it. Not us, though. Oh, you haven't gotten to a final. You got your first final in 5 years. We'll keep you around. Ooh, contract extension. Second is great. Sub to Shane Gooner, please do. Sub to Cyrell as well. Yeah, appreciate it. And AFC always, they know he had a channel, but sub to him as well. Right? And anybody else who has a channel, sub, man. Put it in the chat and we'll sub to him. Because that's what we do around this joint. We support the community and we support each other. Right? Coach said, let's look forward now, Rican. Where do we go from now into the season realistically? All right, I'll try to put my level head on. Realistically, we'll probably lose against City, but the league isn't over. We can still win the league. We can still win the league because they still have to play some of the same people we have to play. If we win all of our games after City, we still win the title. Do I think that's going to happen? No, because we struggled against Bournemouth. So with the league, it's up in smoke. Now, there's a guy in the chat, Brian Matthew. I see his comment. Big up, Brian. He said the other day that he thought we could win the Champions League. And I dismissed it. I dismissed it because I said, ain't no way we win the Champions League. However, if we get to a point in the Premier League where it looks like Manchester City are going to overtake us, because I think we're going to beat Sporting. And if we get Atletico Madrid and we get to a point where we've lost the City and we have to play Atletico Madrid and it looks like the league is going, then I think that we'll throw our eggs in the Champions League basket. Now, can we beat Atletico Madrid? We can. They play kind of a defensive style as well. The problem is Simeone's better at it than we are. But we have the quality on our day in Europe to actually get a result. Now, Martinelli in Europe, amazing. In the Premier League, not so great. Not so great is an understatement. He's trash in the Premier League. But in the Champions League, Martinelli can be better. I think we get a little bit better in the Champions League. I think we can make it to the Champions League final if we do get Atletico Madrid. We get Barcelona, not sure. But if we get to the Champions League final, then Mikel Arteta has no choice but to throw all of his eggs in the Champions League basket. Now, if he wins the Champions League and we bottle the league, I will be over the moon we've won the Champions League. But I think the board should look at it and say, you've won the cup, but you blew 4 Premier Leagues. Yes, you won our first European trophy. That's great, but you blew 4 Premier Leagues. Will you come back next season and challenge in the Premier League? If that answer is no, then you should look for a better manager. Kind of like Tottenham did. Tottenham said, will you keep us in the league? Nope, we look for a manager. The problem is they chose the wrong one. That's it. But Tottenham's squad versus our squad is better. So I think that our squad for an elite manager would be better than Tottenham squad for an elite manager. That makes sense. Ignition said, I'm just going to get wasted. Be careful. Hopefully this might help this game behind. Oh my God, I just can't believe what's happening with my beloved team. It's tough, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be great for the next couple weeks, but just hold on, man. Hold on, because we either get a trophy or we get a new manager. That's all I can say to you. We get a trophy or we get a new manager. Just hold on 6 more weeks. It's like Chelsea Rossini are never going to work. Nope, not going to. How about stop playing Harris in mid? I've already said Harris is not a midfielder. He's at best false 9 type striker. And that ain't great either because, you know, he has bits where he's decent from the goal and then he has bits where he's just terrible. Cause said, big up from South Africa. Where's everyone watching from? I'm watching from, not watching, but I'm streaming from in between Portsmouth and Southampton in the South Coast. I'm from Miami, if you're new here. And I've come to this country to work and follow Arsenal. And so far, only one of those things has been going well. So big up Brian from the group chat. He said, we're in big trouble. Yeah. But we said this. You and I said this in the group chat 3 months ago, that this wasn't sustainable. It's not going to work. And here we are. And people are just taking the wool over their eyes. And some of them aren't. Some of them saying, oh, we'll reassess at the end of the season. Bro, it does not matter, right? Bad habits lead to worse habits. Bad habits don't lead to anything good. If you eat bad food, if you eat unhealthy food, doesn't matter how fit you are, how much of a six-pack, your arteries still getting clogged. So yeah. Ray said trust the process, runners up is good, should be used to it. Yeah. Yeah, now I gotta go back on holiday and show my face, I guess. You know, I'll have my I'll do my usual, right? Arsenal lose the league, I go on holiday. I wear my Arsenal top. Everyone takes the mick out of me. About middle of the summer, I go take a tour to the Emirates. I look at the trophy, the gold trophy. I look at Arsene Wenger's statue now, and I say, why'd you do this to the fans? Why'd you give us this hope that we could be as big as Real Madrid or as big as Barcelona. And then I'll buy a scarf or I'll buy a t-shirt. And if this manager is still here, do it all over again. If he's not, then I'll be gassed. But we'll see. Jack said Arteta's trying to defend his way to a championship and the players look scared to move forward. It's a crap show. And our players, it's going to get to a point, Jack, where players go from looking scared to looking disinterested. Now, if they start looking disinterested and they start looking like they're not listening to this guy, then it could be, bro, there will be a point, right, because of the World Cup. There will be a point where these players say, we ain't going to win anything. It's fine. I'm not going to put forth my best foot because I don't want to get injured. I want to make the World Cup squad. I'll look like I'm busy. I'll do as much as I can, but I'm not going to, bust my lung running. I'm not going to do this. I'll try to, do some passes and stuff to I'm not saying they're down tools, but with that World Cup, bro, they're not going to run themselves into the ground when the World Cup looming. So, yeah. Coach said, after carefully studying the team, I realized the main problem is Rice in the 8. Zubi is poor, should be a squad player. How we go from Partey to this, attacking the problem, it's the midfield. So, Zubimendi can be an 8. It can be a 6 in Spain. Spain isn't as physical. They're more technical. You can be an 8. Santi Cazorla, guys. Santi Cazorla at 40 is still playing in La Liga. Watched him the other day against Sevilla. They got the win. Diabolical. Alexis Sanchez, likewise, nearing 40. I think he's 37, 38. Still in La Liga playing for Sevilla. That shows you how less physical. They can be physical, but they're more technical in Spain. We know this, right? They'll just bop the ball past you, right? Zubimendi's now having to get in battles. He's now having to scrap, and he's lightweight, bro. He's lightweight. Not only is he lightweight, he also can't be as technical because his legs are gone. The guy's played, 2,000 minutes? Where you've got Norgard cheesing on the bench, wondering why he even signed for here, because he can't get a run of games when Zubimendi looks terrible. Put Norgard back there. Put him next to Rice. Let Rice be the marauder if you want to. But in my opinion, coach, Rice should be a 6. The man was a 6 for West Ham. That's why we bought him. Right? Put Zubimendi near the 8. Let him create a little bit more. And then put someone, as a Dowman in the 10 and let them just spray around the joint, right? But no, this manager wants to be clever. He wants to turn Declan Rice into an 8. He wants to turn Zubimendi into a 6. He wants Martin Odegaard to be a right-based 10 with no one going left. Yeah. Mikel Arteta tapping his watch with not long to go is shocking. Bro, I stopped looking at Mikel Arteta, bro. Just his mannerisms. When I see him, I'm now annoyed. When I look at him, just his press conferences, I've stopped watching them because I think it's very arrogant for a manager who has one trophy, the same amount of trophies that Oliver Glasner has at Crystal Palace. So, and Glasner spent a lot less than he did. So yeah. The only reason I don't want Arsenal in the league is Mark. Yeah, I get that. The banter is everything, but it's tiring, man. It's tiring. Big up everybody in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, like, share, subscribe. And yeah, help us get to 500. We're not too far away. I think we're 33 away from 500. So yeah, if you're new here, just pop in. Jack said 6 years with no silverware. How long is this process we're supposed to trust? Like I said, bro, I feel like 7 years is enough to tell you whether or not you're going to be a good manager. It's good enough to tell you whether or not you're going to get over the line. But we should have seen in the first 3 years that we lost top 4 to Tottenham, our biggest rivals. At that point, the board should have said, "Oh, you losing out to Tottenham, man. That's not good." Okay, we'll keep it on watch. And then when you challenge, they said, okay, now you're back on level terms. We give you more money. Now you challenge again. You're back on level terms. Okay, maybe. And then when it comes to that next, so when we bottled it the 2 times, well, we didn't win the 2 times. The 3rd year, you should get to a point where now you've got to win it. You've lost out on it 2 times. You've got to win it. What happened last season is they blamed injuries. Like, he didn't want a small squad. Oh, the squad is too small. Well, you got rid of everybody to make the squad small. And now we're back at it, and the squad's too big, apparently, because he doesn't rotate. He doesn't get anyone else in. He doesn't actually do what we're paying him £15 million a year to do, which is be an elite manager. So it's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing to watch. Big up BBK for the raid. I appreciate it. I see everybody. As I said, if you're new here, like, share, subscribe. Because we're on the road to 500. Not far away. I think we're 33 away. And I appreciate it. Cello said Arteta out, Enrique in. It looks like Enrique is going to end up signing a new contract at PSG. And this is my problem with Arsenal's board. Every time we're in a position of power, of strength, a position where we can get in an elite manager, a position where we can actually build from where we are, we always wait too long, right? Arsene Wenger, I love Arsene Wenger. When he won the FA Cup, what was it, 2011? At that point, you should have said, listen, we've paid off the stadium debt. You've got us the FA Cup. Thank you so much for everything you've done to keep our club running. Let's go get an elite manager and go forward. But no, we kept them longer, right? And then instead of allowing Unai Emery, and regardless of what you think about Unai Emery, whether you think he's elite or he's mid-table, as I said, I watched Sevilla because I was, one of the first teams I supported. Unai Emery is a top 4 manager. He's a top 4 and second level in Europe manager. That's what he might win Aston Villa, the Europa League or the Conference League, whatever they're in, and then he may get them top 4, right? That's his level. But we only stayed with him 18 months. We got to a final, and he got us 5th, and he said, "Oh, that's not good enough. He's the head coach. He's not a manager. Bend him." We got someone who has not coached before, and we had a Europa winning manager who we gave 18 months, but we got a guy who has not won before 7 years. Make it make sense. It doesn't. There's no one who thinks that makes sense at all. So it's Mark top. No, he's not. Mark's not. He's at first he was very much pro. He was kind of like, let's see where Arteta takes us. And because he was listening to me, and because I keep beating it into him and showing him evidence, now he's like, I think I agree with you. I think it's time to try something new. So, yeah, it's not the players, it's Arteta. It's a combination of both. I don't want to let the players off because Arteta is not on the pitch telling you to pass the ball sideways and backwards, right? Yes, it's been coached into you, but at some point, somebody needs to step up and say, I ain't doing this no more. We're losing the game. At some point, you got to say, I'm going forward. So, yeah. The league will be over next Sunday. I'm hoping it isn't. But, I mean, we couldn't beat City at Wembley at a neutral ground. I'm not sure we beat them at that Etihad. Jabba says we need Marino more now. Marino was actually very helpful, right? And everybody took the mick out of Marino. Marino was a guy who could help us score. Like, he's a good scorer. When he gets chances, he helped us score. So, yeah, in midfield, maybe not so much. But why don't we try 4-4-2? Why don't we try another formation? Why don't we try to do something different? Why we keep doing the same thing, expecting different results? It's insanity. It doesn't make sense. So, coach said, when the pressure is on, we crumble. In UCL, we aren't expecting to win, so no pressure. Exactly. And to that point, coach, when we were at Real Madrid, no one expected us to beat Real Madrid. No one gave us a chance. We hit the 2 free kicks, and then that was like, we're on, we're good, we're great. Let's go forward, put our best foot forward. We wanted to burn about, right? We got through the tie. When the pressure was on to beat PSG following that, at home, I was at that match. I watched that. We didn't play Wanyeri till late when the man was on form. And we bottled it, bro, at home, just like we did today. It is the history of Mikel Arteta. Jack said folding like a deck chair. Yeah, that's disrespectful to deck chairs, though. We fold worse than them. You see, are you kidding? This team can't even build Bournemouth. The best thing I can say is that we try. We try. I think, we'll beat Sporting Lisbon. I can definitely say we'll beat Sporting Lisbon. But honestly, we ain't winning the Champions League. You're right. I don't think we're winning the Champions League. And if we can't win the Champions League, we're struggling in the league, man. We're struggling in the league. So I don't see us winning the last 5. We couldn't beat Bournemouth. We're probably gonna lose to Manchester City. You're expecting us to win the last 5 when all the pressure's on us? It's not. Bournemouth at home, get it right. Mickey Mouse Cup, bro. Competitions don't want to lose anything. Not at this. Yeah, bro. Real competitors want to win it by any means necessary. Real competitors, it doesn't matter. And this is what I said about the Carabao Cup, right? I wanted to win the Carabao Cup because we were in it. It's a trophy. It doesn't matter what the size of the trophy is. We want to win it. And the thing is, this is the difference between Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola, right? Pep Guardiola, did you guys see how he was celebrating every time they scored in the Carabao Cup? Did you see how he was celebrating after the end? This man has won the Champions League. He's won the league 5 of the last 6 years. But the Carabao Cup, the smallest cup, the cup that Arsenal fans said we don't care about, this guy was celebrating like it's the Champions League. And that's the difference. Every trophy matters to him. Every opportunity to win silverware matters to him. Our manager, guys, it's okay, guys. We can still win, guys. It's okay, guys. Bring your boots. Bring your breakfast. That's BS, bro. Seems a long way from here to the last good performance. I asked my mate that question, when's the last time we played? Well, he said February. It's April, guys. 2 months. So, yeah. He said, true. He said, a good mid creates chances for attackers. We have attackers doing midfield jobs. Bro, we've got a goalkeeper doing midfield job. The man's breaking lines. He's a line-breaking passer. That's what David Raya is, a line-breaking passer, our goalkeeper. Remember Juan Mata, David Sia, those are mid. Yeah, bro. I mean, Bernardo Silva, when he was, not as old. Gundogan, Mesut Ozil, we've had some good midfielders, man. Fabregas, we've had some good midfielders, and now you're telling me that Odegaard is the guy to take us over the line. Yeah, Mesut Ozil, if he was in this team with Arsene Wenger managing, we breeze the league. We breeze the league, but nope, not with this guy. Our midfielders have to defend. That's their first thing. Lead the press and defend. I play Odegaard as an 8 since he likes defending and pressing. He also likes going right. I saw Matt, he loves going right. He rarely goes left, and he rarely gets balls into the box. Your creator can't have 2 successful passes in the box, and you expect you to win. It just doesn't work. But that's what we have. That says New York City had to wake up 7 a.m. And this is one thing that I always commend people. And I talked about BBK as well, because Jack is in New York City, so he's on the East Coast. He's waking up at 7 a.m. Taryn is on the West Coast. He's waking up 4 a.m. He's waking up 4 a.m. in the morning to watch this. Imagine you're waking up 4 a.m. People in Australia waking up at 2 a.m. Or staying up till 2 p.m. to watch this. And you've got the manager coming out telling people, oh, bring your boots, bring your shin pads. You need to back the team. No, bro, I'm tired of that crap, man. Stop telling me to back the team. I'm waking up ungodly times of the day. I'm paying my money for TNT, for Peacock, for whatever kind of media thing that you have to watch the game on. You're making us pay for preseason games. You're making us pay for Champions League games. And you're talking about support the team. Bro, what you think we doing? I'm tired of it, bro. I don't want to hear it no more. Big up BBK again for the raid. Mikel has lost his aura. What aura? The FA Cup? Big up to Phoenix. Big up to Justice as well. My apologies. Big up to E-Ross, the boss. Larry Pop, thank you for stopping by. E-Ross said he never had. Oh, yeah, what aura, bro? Respect, dude, Gooner Rican, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, what aura did he have? The FA Cup, Arsene Wenger won that. So by that logic, Arsene Wenger's got aura. You know what I'm saying? The FA Cup, bro. Arteta's still in bottle job phase. If you guys, popped in afterwards, the commentator on the TV said, statistically, April is Mikel Arteta's worst month, and statistically, April is Pep Guardiola's best month. What does that mean? Pep Guardiola knows that April's win mode. We're going to get over the line, and Mikel Arteta, you run his players into the ground. They're exhausted. Let's try to limp over the line, and then we don't end up winning anything. Because apparently leading the tables and being 9 points clear in December means that you're going to win the title. So why are we all sweating? Why are we all upset after the day? Means nothing in December. December trophies mean nothing. Hit the likes. Thank you so much, E. Ross. Hit like, share, subscribe. Welcome, BBK. Really helps the channel community grow. It's free. Yep. Free 99. So if you guys are in, it's your first time coming in, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Big up Jargons, honors and manners. I appreciate it. Coach said, big up E-Ross. He did have aura because some man was, bro, someone will always be twerking from Mikel Arteta. Always. There'll probably be guys who once he leaves, they'll say, oh, we should have never got rid of. I guarantee you, once he leaves, our first match that we lose, they'll say, oh, we should have never got rid of him. We could have won everything. Bro, we had 7 years. We ain't win nothing. Respect dude, Jargons, dapping people up. Likes and thanks for having us. Thank you, Lori. Coach, what the F was that? Trash. Phoenix Alpha said the board missed out Ancelotti twice. Tells you everything about this board. They're not sick. So our board, which is basically the Cronkies, they care about money. They care about getting revenue. They care about making sure that butts are on seats. They care about season tickets being renewed. They care about, us buying Adidas shirts. They care about everything they can kind of get out of us. And they don't return anything. They don't pump any money to the club. We only get into the club what we've made. So that tells you all you need to know. If we're a big club, regardless of what happens this season, our board would say, all right, Mikel, thank you so much. You got us over the line in the Prem, or you somehow scammed the victory in the UCL. Thank you so much for getting us to a point of strength. But I think it's time for our team to have a new voice. I think it's time for our players to have a new voice. It's been a long, hard slog. Thank you so much. We're going forward with, Enrique or Ancelotti or somebody like that. But we'll never do that. So, welcome on E-Ross. We all want Enrique, but what if he doesn't want us? He's crushing it at PSG. Why would he leave? So who next? I try to tempt Ancelotti again. He's with Brazil. Brazil, they're not winning the World Cup. Not how I've seen them. We've got enough of an attack. We've got enough of a team defensively for Ancelotti to say, okay, give me about 300 mil and I'll bring in some attackers and we'll see what we got. Because the other thing that matters when it comes to the manager is Ancelotti, the guy is one of the most winningest managers for Real Madrid. Attacking players will come because they know that he's an attacking coach. They know they'll have the freedom. They know that they will win something. They know that they'll be actually rotated and allowed to breathe. So his aura would pull players that we probably wouldn't have under Mikel Arteta. So yeah, brother, a lot of twerking for this Arteta, but they're not starting to realize he's not. And a lot of top Gooners are. They're starting to realize that, he's not the guy. Coach with Rice in the 8. Oh, wait, Arteta. Yeah, goofy. Coach Inzaghi would leave Saudi in a heartbeat. Yeah, Inzaghi's a shout as well. Coach I do not want, though, is I don't want Conte anywhere near this. I think that he would have and big up Gianni. I see him in the chat. He would know a lot more about Conte, but I think Conte is the kind of manager where he gets you winning and then it goes sour and then it's ugly. I don't want him, Mourinho. I want a guy who has a history of going to a club, making it better, and leaving on a good note. Ross, when even Robbie lost facing Mikel, it's thinking for it. Yeah, bro. Robbie loves being the Arsenal guy. Coach Hansi Flick has a price. Yep, he does. But that high line Yikes. Highline with Gabriel. Oof. I think you probably have to get a little bit of a taller keeper, to be fair. Edit you out to take him in spirit. Neutral ground. We call it Etihad South. Yeah. And it seems that Lori is a Manchester City fan. So far in my chat, I've had Manchester City, I've had Manchester United, and I've had Liverpool, right? Oh, and I had a Spurs fan, right? So all we missing is Chelsea. If there's a Chelsea fan in the block, come on down, right? Take your swipes. We're here. We're here for the next 20 minutes. Take your swipes. And I just gotta hold that. That's what it is. Coach Diego Simeone is leaving Atletico Madrid this summer, so get him. And that's the thing, AJ. That's the thing. Will Berto want to work with Simeone again? You know, how is that relationship? I don't follow Atletico, so I don't know. But if it was a good relationship, if it was a solid relationship, if they're amicable, yeah, if we're going to play stinky football anyway, at least we get a manager who's good at it and who has a history of winning. So, yeah, I take it in a heartbeat. Not one player looked pissed or fired up. Everyone here today, no leaders. Because why? Because none of these players ever won anything major. So yeah, when you say major, yeah, you've had Jesus who won with City. You've had Declan Rice who won the Europa Conference League. You had Eza who won the FA Cup. That's it, bro. Have you had anyone who's won like La Liga? Has you won anyone who's won the Champions League? Have you had anybody who's been at a Bayern Munich? You know, no, you got rid of all of them. You had a Aubameyang who could win. You had Mesut Ozil who was at Real Madrid, and some of these guys had to leave. But I remember everybody used to talk about 300K. Mesut Ozil, oh, he's on 300K. What's Saka on? Who's a better player? I know they play a different position. Who's a better player? Mesut Ozil or Bukayo Saka? Who's a better player, Mesut Ozil or Gabriel Jesus on 265? Mesut Ozil or Kai Havertz on 265? So what are we saying? We're in the same position with players, you know what I'm saying, that aren't as good. Odegaard couldn't lace Ozil's shoes. Saka is nowhere close to Alexis Sanchez. I think Victor Gyökeres and Giroud is, but nah, bro. We're in the same position. Except now, the players are starting to look disinterested. And I told you that. Once they look disinterested, 25 likes, thank you. Appreciate it. BBK Sports Raid, thank you. Welcome in, Terran Raiders. Yes, thank you for stopping by. And I still see 200 people who stopped by, and I appreciate it. If you guys are new, please hit that like and hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Really helps out. Big up Gooner Rican TV, legend in the chat. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you. Smash likes and subscribe. Yes, please. Gimmicks is what Arteta is. PR. Arteta is very good at looking at the camera and saying what he thinks the people want to hear. Right? You look at some of, because I actually look at some of the interviews, and I look at some of the questions. Bro, they're softball questions. And I'm used to the American media where after a loss, bro, they're asking you the hard questions. Well, why did you take this person off? Well, why did you have this tactic and it hasn't worked? But no, Mikel's like, oh, Mikel, did the sun cause you guys to be, unable to look at the ball in the sky? Was the grass too wet and you guys couldn't hit past? Like, they give them softball questions like, yeah, it's very hard because, the ball isn't moving again. So, yeah. So, again, are you following me or am I following you? Listen, City are, I like a goofball. I called them the Blue Dolphins. And now they're the Blue Sharks again, and they're circling Jaws. I hear Dana, 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 Dana. That's all I can hear in the back of my mind. The Blue Sharks coming up. Brentford 1, Everton 1's current scoreline. Burnley's losing to Brighton. That was about 10 minutes ago. And big up, Brian. Oh, there we go, the Chelsea fan. Yes, the Big Six has come in to take the mic. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by, Brian. We've had a Liverpool fan. We've had a Spuds fan. We've had the 2 Manchester clubs. And now we've finished it off with Chelsea. So, yes, everyone has come in to just talk about how we've just embarrassed ourselves once again. I appreciate it, guys. Big up to Brian. And I hope that your mother's doing well. Brentford versus Everton at the moment is 1-1. If either team wins, they go above us. If that's not motivation to beat Manchester City tomorrow, then I don't know what it is. It should be motivation. But Brian, just like Arsenal, do you think that your team will actually be up for the fight? You know, Arsenal, you would think that beating Bournemouth and being 12 points ahead in the title race will be enough motivation, especially after you got dumped out of 2 cups and barely scraped by in the third. But no, we didn't show up. We didn't show up. we rolled over. We showed our bellies like win the dog. But I think it'll be the most Arsenal thing for us to have lost this match and then Chelsea to get a result, and then all the top winners will come back and they'll start saying, we can win at the Etihad. We can win at the Etihad. Oh, God, we got it. The confidence is back. And then guess what? Manchester City slap us silly, and fans will be right back down on the low again. Crash and burn. So, yeah. Big up, Brian, for stopping by. And scratching his face in frustration when the players do nonsense. Mikel claps the idea because it's stinky ideas. He favors those who listen to. Yeah, he gets rid of anybody who doesn't call him the best manager in world football. Doesn't clap for him. Thank you, Mikel. So, yeah. 200 in the building, man. I appreciate it. Remember, hit those likes and shares, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If I hit the likes, guys, it doesn't bite. Not until it knows you better. Yeah, like the blue shark. And do subscribe to Taryn, who sent me a raid. He's a top guy, man. He had me on his channel when I had 100 subscribers, and he didn't have to. So I always got time for Taryn. And he's American like I am, and he wakes up at ungodly times in the morning to watch the gift that keeps on giving. So, yeah. He bends off domestic cups and doesn't realize that winning breeds winning. And that's exactly what I'm saying, Lord. Like, Pep Guardiola knows that winning the Carabao Cup means something, because when you have that feeling of getting over the line, when you have that feeling of winning, you just say, you know what? This is a small cup. We've won this. We can do it. Let's go win the big cup. Let's go win everything. So, yeah, he's got that, bro. He's got that. I skipped Quadra. My bad. He said Arteta cares about his looks. Yeah, his image. His image is the most important thing. I hope the board don't award Arteta a new contract because the likes of Diamond and Glock 14. As they will seek new patches. Well, we're already trying to get rid of MLS and Wanyeri, apparently. We're already shopping them and seeing if we can get 100 million pounds for them, when those guys are 2 of the guys who actually saved Mikel Arteta's image. Yeah, let's get rid of them. Big up Oregon Goon. We are done. Yeah, it's looking that way. Big up the Dow as well. Oregon Goon. That's the Oregon Goon. Remember, you like and share and subscribe. Why hasn't he been sacked yet? Because we care about ticket prices and making money. More like the PR says. Yep, it's all PR. Now speaking truth. Quadra, yep, the narcissism is the biggest problem. Bro, the guy walks around like he's Sir Alex Ferguson, and he's got a trophy cabinet of, David Moyes. He's got a trophy cabinet of Glasner. Even Glasner took Crystal Palace, a team with a fraction of our budget, to the FA Cup. And this manager couldn't even get to a final in the FA Cup. Couldn't beat Southampton. Simple question. Arteta doesn't win it. I think that's to Kasiri. Did I? I feel like big up Kasiri as well. I forgot to big you up. I apologize. He said, yeah, if he doesn't win anything, bro, if he doesn't win anything, the minute that it's confirmed that we ain't winning nothing, bro, Andre Berta should. You guys remember WWE? You ever watch WWE? How Vince McMahon used to walk by, and he's just no chance. He used to come down. That's how Andre Berta should walk down. Arms swinging, P45 in hand, and slap it on the desk and say, "Pack your stuff and go." That's what it should be. It shouldn't. We shouldn't be waiting until the summer. I'm hoping that he can do anything. Nah, he should walk down. You know what? Not even Vince McMahon. I want to hear Stone Cold music. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I want him to get stunned with a P45. Bam! There you go, baby. Have fun wherever your next job is. Thanks for the memories. The one FA Cup. We're going to bring some real winners in. That's how it should be. I said it's one trophy from possible 24. Yeah, it's looking like one trophy from possible 25 after today. Big up Gianni as always. I am behind in chat because I've never had as many people in the chat, but I appreciate all you guys for sticking by. Still 200 in the building. Johnny says, bro, he has to go every big game. We look and play scared. It's ridiculous. He has to go. Even if he wins the Prem, he has to effing go. And yeah, man, now like, all the negative gooners. Now, you know, a lot of us, and Gianni's one of them. One of the guys that I talked to, not one of the negative gooners, but one of the guys that I had a chat with. You know, we do the Monday show with Waffle Don and sometimes Tony Cloud as well. And we had this conversation. And I think that with Gianni, you know, me, Gianni, BBK, those guys, we all came to the consensus, right, that we were going to win something. You know what I'm saying? Me and Gianni and Waffle Don, we all agreed, bro. We said we'll win the double. This was before the Carabao Cup. We say at minimum, I think we win the double. We're in very good position. I think we can win more. And bro, within 3 weeks, we talking about winning nothing. We went from being sure that the double could happen to winning absolutely nothing. And that's why everybody is upset, and that's why everybody is done for, man. Right? That's why everybody's mind is gone, because we're talking. People were talking about quads, and we never, you know, the rational fans never believed that a quad was on, but now we're talking about nothing, bro. We're talking about we might not win anything. We went from being in every competition to we might not win anything. And that's the story of this manager. It's not the first time we felt this way. If we continue to keep doing it, it's just insanity, bro. Big up Gianni. Top Goons will kiss his butt. Yep. Subscribe to Gianni, please do. Dark Laser said, I don't know what Mikel Arteta seasons Zubimendi, even though any is better that pass merchant. And I explained this before as well. Zubimendi shouldn't be, for me, he shouldn't be an 8. I mean, a 6. He should be more of an 8. He should be more of kind of the guy who gets the ball from the 6, gets the ball from the defenders and progresses it forward. He's not a 6, bro. He can be a 6 in La Liga. He cannot be a 6 in the Prem. It's too physical. It's too fast. And now from playing, 1,000 minutes, he's too slow. He's too slow. So that's where we are with that one. Thanks for stopping by, Dark Laser, as well. Laura says, big problem. The board is giving Arteta $1.3 billion. How much will the new manager need to take the job? Not many. Bro, you got Luis Enrique in. I guarantee you he's challenging for a trophy with the squad we have. Even with as bad as Martinelli has been, even as goofy as he's looked, I guarantee you that he's winning a trophy. I guarantee he's winning a trophy. But guess what? Look at us. Look at us now. Embarrassing, bro. Embarrassing. You still got guys making excuses for $1.3 billion spent, the backing of the board. And this is my thing with Mikel Arteta, right? We've gotten rid of the players that he didn't want. We gotten rid of Edu. We gotten rid of bits of the stadium he didn't want. We gave him an opportunity to get the North London forever, which, yeah. Anyway, we've given him the power. We've gotten him everything you want. And this is what I said when Berta came in. I said that Berta should be given the power to give him enough rope to hang himself. Okay, Mikel, you said you didn't have the players. You say Eddie wasn't good enough. I'm one of the best in business at getting you players. Here you go. Oh, you said you needed this. You said you needed that. Don't worry, I'll give it to you. Now, if we don't win anything, you can't blame injuries. You can't blame the squad size. Only one thing you can blame, bro, your tactics and your ability to get over the line. There's nowhere to turn anymore. And that's what I said what happened when Berta came in, and now we're seeing it in real time. The thing that sucks, though, is that I don't want to see that. I don't want to be right about us not winning, bro. I want to see us win. I've moved from America to England to see us win. And look at me now, having the same conversation I was having back in America. 29 likes. That was 10 minutes ago, so geez. Thanks, chat, for sitting by me. Smash like, subscribe. Please do. If you're new and you like it, please hit the likes. We do other shows. Yeah. Big up the girl Gaffer. Hey, I'm catching the live for the first time. Let's go. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. We do the Waffle House. And this is the thing with my channel. So I do the Arsenal stuff, and then I have a show called the Waffle House where we don't talk about Arsenal. We talk about World Cup kits. We talk about the World Cup. We talk about literally anything except for Arsenal to get our minds off of it. And I think that I have not planned to do one this week, but I think after, let's see, it's on a Wednesday. After the Wednesday, I might do it on the Thursday or the Friday, do a Waffle House, because we're going to need it before Manchester City. We're going to need to just get our brains off of Arsenal for 2 hours, talk about everything, and then we can get back into it. And hopefully we can take some points off the City. But I don't see that happening. Coach said, bro, I have no issue with Sack on 300K. He deserves it. But guys like Calafiori who are earning 40K in Italy to earning 150 at Arsenal, why we travel wages all the time stinks. And you know what? The best teams like Liverpool, bro, Liverpool had guys on less than 100,000, guys that we would take in a heartbeat. You know, guys on 150 that we thought were nearing world class. But no, we've got Jesus on 265 and Havertz. Bro, Chelsea didn't want him. Manchester City didn't want them. We were giving Zinchenko. Bro, we had to beg Zinchenko to leave. Even Nottingham Forest didn't want him. But this is what we do at Arsenal. We like to give players lots of money. Big up, Cooper. Thank you so much. Arteta should be fired after this game. More defensive to win the league. Not working, Mikel. Our trophy this year is second place. And I see so many of you guys dejected, man. It hurts because I'm hurting as well, man. I'm hurting as well. Big up, Cooper. Smash the likes and subscribe to my bro, Mickey. Thank you for stopping by. One of the day ones, Cooper, in here. Lori said, big up, girl. Guy for another female in the chat. Yep. Love to see it. Fartetta tries to blame the fans for the team's poor performance. This is a everything community, by the way. Like, my brain's all over the joint. But I just want to highlight, this is an everything community. I'm nice to the rivals. It's an Arsenal channel because I'm an Arsenal fan. But it's really a football channel. It's a football community. That's what I want it to be. I want to be able to talk about football and other things, man, basketball, whatever. It's kind of like BBK's channel, except I have a little bit more dopamine. I feel like BBK, Taryn is a lot more rational than I am. I am the fiery Caribbean. I am the fiery Puerto Rican. I let myself loose and I just say what I feel. So does he, but he can, being in the military, he can keep it inside. Me, I just let it run wild and let whatever happens happen. So that's me. So thank you so much, Laurie, and Girl Gaffer for stopping by. And he tries to blame the fan. And I said this, Jack. I said, stop telling fans to come in. Stop telling fans to have their water bottles and shin pads, bro. And this is the thing, right? It doesn't matter where you're watching. If you look at the stadium, if you look at the people in the stadium, they will tell you how things feel, right? And when you start hearing boos, when you start hearing groans, when you look over to the stands of people leaving, that just shows you, bro, the tide is changing. Once the fans turn on you, because the Cronkies care about money. Why was Arsene Wenger ushered out of here? Because the fans turned. If the fans don't come sit down, if the fans aren't buying merch, if the fans aren't renewing season tickets, then that raises the alarm bells. Wheel, wheel, wheel. And they look at it and they say, we could definitely lose money. We could lose fans. We could lose support. We got to change something. There you go, Arson. Thanks for stopping by. We got to give you a P45. The only reason this guy is still in the job is because we have a large section of our fan base who will back him to the end. They will back him to the hill, regardless of whether he wins or not. The top Gooners. Let's be honest. So if I'm looking at it, if I'm an Arsenal media guy and I'm doing research and I'm looking at the AFTVs and all the other channels, and I look at the rival channels as well, and they're saying, oh, Arsenal are doing a great job. Well, why would I change anything? The fans think we're doing a great job. But the little channels are the ones that are saying we're not doing a great job, but no one's watching it because they're not allowed to work with the club. So they can't tell. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, another problem that I have with Mikel is he just has yes men around him. And you can tell. You can tell that his assistant coaches look like, yes, they're happy to be there. Right? When I was a coach, I had coaches under me, and I thought I'd be doing something great. I thought I'd be doing something that was amazing. And I had my coach, hey, listen, bro. That was great, and it may work. But I've done this before in the past. Can we try this and let it go? I've got to suck my ego up and say, this guy has a little bit more experience. He's been doing this a little bit more than me. Or he has an alternate. You know what? Let's try it. Forget it. Let's try it. And when it works, I can't say it's my idea. I have no problem saying, oh, yeah, the assistant coach came up with that. We worked on it a little bit. We tweaked it to where I wanted it to be. Thanks for doing that. That's not what we have. And you can tell that's not what we have. It's Mikel is everything. If you don't agree with Mikel, you're out of there. And when you don't have an assistant coach, when you don't have someone in your corner that would say, listen, this U-shaped football ain't working. The way we're struggling, the way you're flogging players, the way you're rushing players back, it ain't working. If you don't have that, if you just have yes men, you'll never win. You need someone to tell you you're not doing good enough. You're not doing what's helping. I don't think you should do this. If you can't take that on as a coach at any level, coaching probably shouldn't be for you. I'm going to back the team until the end of the season. Come on. And so will I. This is just a rant. This is just me. This is a reaction off of today's match. But like everyone who's a fan of their club, they're going to back it to the hill. I'm going to back Arsenal. Whether we win, lose, draw, I'm going to back them. I'm just not happy. And I'm sure a lot of fans like me aren't happy. So, yeah. Subscribe to the Girl Gaffer. Yes, please do. Anybody else who has a channel, make sure you subscribe to them as well. Appreciate it. City Sense Blood in the Water. Yes, they do. That shark is getting bigger, bro. We know how Jaws ended up. Coach Saka doesn't deserve that money. He won us nothing. AJ, when it comes to Saka, I get why we gave him the money because he is the star. But I kind of agree with the fact that why not wait until the end of the season to get that money? Why not wait until we seen what you produce to give that money? Hey, Saka, we'll give you the contract. We'll give you what you're asking for. Can we wait to the end of the season to negotiate? Can we wait to the end of the season? He still got a little time, don't he? But no, we'll give you $300,000, and now you're injured, and not really helping us because the managers run you into the ground. We are being delivered to the Etihad like Uber Eats. Shark's gonna feast on us. Yeah, bro, it's gonna be long. As I tell you, I'm doing the Waffle House, man, because I need to get my brain off of it. I need to get us to a point where we're just relaxing and chilling. AJ Kai did what for Arsenal and was highest paid. Saka carried this team for 6 years, and I agree, man. I agree. I don't have a problem with Saka's contract. Saka put us on our shoulders for years. On his shoulders for years. He put us on his shoulders for years. So we deserve to give him the money. The timing of it wasn't great for me. But yeah, giving guys like Kai, giving Mikel Arteta an extension. Can anyone tell me why we gave Mikel Arteta an extension? Because he didn't start off on 15. He didn't start on 15 million. We gave that to him. So what did we give him What did he do to deserve that? I don't understand. But yeah, I'm like 10 minutes behind, but I think I'm getting there. Brentford 2-1. I think that's old. Girl Guyver says yes. Lori Pop, it's an honor. Dart Laser said Wenger 4th place in FA Cup. Arteta 1 billion in 2nd place. Yeah, with no real trophies. We got Lukey Penn, no own goals, a set piece. Bro, I was waiting for own goalless, man. I miss own goalless, man. He's one of my favorite players. Not my money. Mikel, 2nd highest paid managers. We crying about 300K. Rooney, Pogba, instead of been earning that years ago. Yeah, but Rooney was a star. Pogba was the linchpin of that team. I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind Saka getting 300K. I do mind Mikel Arteta getting a wage increase and also being talked about getting another contract. Brentford 1-2 Everton. Iago double. Vic Gyökeres, 18 goals this season on comps. Our top goal scoring on. Yep, but he's apparently a flop. Big up Rick Rain. Arteta's image that of a scared, weak coward. Yeah, it is. The 2nd season in a row that AFC Bournemouth have won at the Emirates. Same scoreline, 2-1. Yep. Thank you, Rick, for stopping by as well. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it. Cool 11. Salute. Coach, because he won nothing for our club. That means if he won, he could go to 500K a week. That's crazy. I still disagree with the mindset of small cups. A trophy is a trophy. Majors, there's no green jacket over here. And Lori, I agree. I 100% agree. And I said it. I said the Carabao Cup would have meant everything to me. It would have meant everything for me to win it. It means everything to Manchester City when they win it. Why is it not good enough for us? And we haven't won it in 30 years. Community Shields in his cabinet. It runs up metal. Yeah, trash. Question for other football club fan: which club take Arteta on board as a manager? None of them. I know AJ signed a new deal for next 5 years. He's on 300K. Brentford 2-1. Big up, Gooner Rican. Tyson Mitchell, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Subscribe to Tyson Mitchell if you can. Bet you wish you still had stuff with Blue now. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, bro. Get rid of this coach. He's a choke artist, social drawings. Mental weak, not good enough. Isn't scamming it good. Brighton 2-0. Nick said you need O2 right oxygen. Yeah, man. I need everything. Latvian Gooner, big up. He said, what we saying, same thing everybody else saying. Latvian Gooner, thank you for stopping by. Big up Nick for stopping by as well. My manners is gone, man, because my head's gone. I apologize. It's not, I'm a Southern kid as well, man. So manners to everyone. What we saying, we embarrass ourselves, but we knew that. We knew that we was embarrassed ourselves. That's what we always do. The minute this brick coach started requesting people to do crap signs of nerves, yeah, bro, he kind of freezes. He kind of freezes, right? And the one thing, and if you know, Lori's still in the chat, Pep Guardiola used to do this. Pep Guardiola used to micromanage, and even he had to realize, like, bro, I gotta let some of these guys. They know the system now. Just let them go. You know, you look at that guy, Nico O'Reilly, embarrassed us, bro. Embarrassed a young kid. No, not Mikel, though. He's got to scream and shout. I've never seen any other successful coach stand on the sideline for the entire 90-minute shouter. Usually they shout a couple of instructions and then they go and sit back down. Ancelotti used to be the king of it. He'll stand there with his hands in his pocket and then he'll sit back down. He'll be watching. Meanwhile, he collecting every trophy. But this guy got to tell you every day, every hour what to do. He probably, you know, walk you to the toilet just to make sure you do it right. Just leave the stadium empty. Why do you always have to protest to get a guy out of the club? This guy sucks. Get him out. Why do we have to get to protesting? And the problem is because we're an international club, right? And I'm part of the international bit. So, you know, if I didn't have the luxury of knowing people who are season ticket holders, knowing someone who can get me into the club, you know, I would be one of the fans who want to see so badly the Arsenal. And that's what they know. The owners know they have that. You've got Malaysian fans. You've got African fans. You've got South American fans. You know, you've got Asian fans, Australian fans. You got fans from all over the world who will spend their hard-earned money to come watch us. How can you ask them to leave the stadium? And the fans know that. I mean, the board knows that. They have the fans right where they want them. So yeah, they're never gonna leave. A lot of fans, they probably planned for years. I knew a fan, one of my mates from South Florida, had planned for months to come watch Arsenal. And it's probably the only time or one of the few times he'll ever get to see them. So it's kind of hard to ask fans to leave the stadium when you saved your hard-earned money and you've been planning for months. So I get it. It's tough. It's tough. I think it's more on the UK-based fans to do that. But even if the UK-based fans leave, will that be enough for you to actually see seats being empty and all that? That's my thoughts on that. Subscribe to Latvian Gooner, please do. Larry Pop said, "Oh, Everton equalizer 91st minute. Brentford 2, Everton 2, Dewsbury Hall late equalizer." Brian said, "People just want to hear positive things about their club instead of the truth, good or bad." And that's not me. With every walk of my life, not just, even in my marriage, sometimes my wife, she says things that I don't want to hear. She says, "Listen, this is what you're not doing well." Just this morning, she said, this is what you're not doing well. And it wasn't malicious. And I've just got to take that on board and say, I get that you love me. I get you're coming from a place of love. And I have to change this thing. I have to take that in consideration, right? That's how you get better. That's how I get better as a husband. That's how I get better as a person. My boss, if my boss came in and said, "Oh, Mickey, you're doing everything so well. Oh, you're doing great," then I would never fix the things that I'm not doing well, because you're just gaslighting. You're telling me, "Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, great. It's great. It's great. It's great." No, you have to tell me the good and the bad. And sometimes being told that you suck hurts. It hurts your feelings. My feelings be hurt. But I have to look at it and say, right, boss, you said I wasn't doing this well. I've done other good things well. But I get what you're saying. I get that you're saying that the thing that I'm doing could be detrimental to my work and could be detrimental to the company. So I'll fix that. Not us, though. Arsenal fans, he's doing a great job. He's doing everything. It's every other thing except the manager. And so he's taking that on board because the fans back him, the board back him, and he'll never look at himself and say, "I'm the problem. It's me. I'm the problem." So yeah, you have to take the good and the bad. And it sucks and it hurts, but that's what's life. Big up everybody still locked in. I appreciate it. I will be closing up soon, I promise. Brentford 2, Everton 2. Yikes. Brentford 2, Everton 2. Latvian Gooner said, "Just like in real life, truth hurts, and most people have a problem having that." Yeah, it sometimes it's delivery. Sometimes it's how it's delivered to you. It causes you to be defensive. But sometimes you just have to take the message and say, "You know what? I know that you're not saying this out of a place of negativity. You're saying it to make me better." And it's the same thing with Arsenal. I know you're not saying this out of a place of anger. Most of us probably are tonight, but I know you're saying this because you care about the club. I know you're saying this because you want us to progress. And I think someone needs to pull him aside and say, "This is what it needs to be, Mikkel." Quadra said, "Yep, Burnley lost. Not surprising. That's where they're going down." Dewsbury Hall knows where his heart lies. Pito, big up Pito. Run the likes and hit subscribe. Yes, please. Quadra says, "Big up to Brian." Brian says, "Don't blame yourself." He says, "Don't blame yourself." And he said, "Quadra spoke to my mom this afternoon. She's doing okay, no pain. Thanks for asking." That's always good to hear. As a person who lost their mother almost 10 years ago, I know how tough it can be, Brian. If you're still in the chat, especially when you're dealing with something as kind of unpredictable as what she has. It's tough. It's tough to kind of deal with that, but I just want you to know, because I did see your comment in the other chat that I was in. The best thing that you can do sometimes is, set your parents up in a place where they're safe, especially if they have things like cancer or dementia. I know it sucks. I know it sucks because my mother had some long-term illnesses, and it sucked when she went into the nursing home, and I felt the same way you do. But I knew, and I looked at the opposite way of it, and the opposite thing is your parents, for the most part, they love you. And your parents never want you to surrender who you are for them. That's the part of being a parent. So, my dad, my parents always said, I sacrificed for you to be better in life. I sacrificed for you to be better than I ever was. And if it ever gets to the point where you can't go and be great because of me, make sure that I'm safe and move forward. And that's my only advice to you. I don't know, the ins and outs of your situation. That's just, what my parents said to me. I would not be in the UK without my parents. I would not be, my grandma, my aunts who still push me, even though my mother's passed, my grandma and my aunts have taken over. And they told me to keep going. And those are the things they tell me, man. Like, keep moving forward. I stand on the shoulders of my parents. My parents, my mom, she moved to America from Puerto Rico. She didn't speak English. My grandparents did the same, obviously. They made a business. They made a place for my mom to go to university. She went to university, met my dad. And then my parents, they made a way for me to have an education. They paid for me to go to, primary school and secondary school. And then when I became an adult, they gave me all of the tools that I needed to, get a job. And then eventually I moved to Spain for a little bit. And then I moved to the UK. And I lost my mom along the way. And I know it sucks. I know how bad it hurts. And it sucked, but I know that she wouldn't want me to mourn. She wouldn't want me to just keep mellowing over it, because my mom always wanted me to go be great and do great things. So yeah, to Brian and your family, I wish you the best and I hope for the best. But regarding your comment, man, never blame yourself, because that's what parents are for. Your parents are there to ensure that you're living your best life, regardless of whether, you're 50 years old or 70 years old. I speak in my job. I work for the NHS. I speak to a lot of, parents. I speak to a lot of children of people who have dementia and cancers and things. And that's some of the messages I get. Mom had a great life, and mom would not have wanted me to, to stop my life in order to care for her. And you're not stopping your life. I'm not saying you're stopping life, but it's something that weighs on you, because you want to be a good kid. You want to provide for your parents. But I know that my parents and I, most parents won't want you to stop your life to care for them. That's why they brought you into the world. They've given you everything you can to be the person that you are. And I think they'd want you to continue being that. So never feel bad for doing the right thing. I know it's tough, but my thoughts and prayers are with you, Brian. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I wanted to say in the group chat, I'm a waffler, and I thought that was better for me to say it to you. I'm glad that you popped in my chat today, because I wanted to say in the chat, I don't feel like one line was good enough for me, having had it experienced myself. So thank you for stopping by, and thank you for listening. As I said, I do wish you the best, you and your family. Back to the sadness. Yeah, you did. Pep may have an ego, but unlike Arteta, he's not a narcissist and adapted to certain players and allowed them to play. And he had to build that as well. Lord, he had to build that. He wasn't always like that. In the beginning, and this is what I always say about Arteta, right? Arteta learned half of the lesson, but because he left before he got the full lesson, he never got the rest. He got the maniacal Pep. And then as soon as Arteta left, Pep kind of had to change himself and say, I can't be this maniacal. We're losing players. We're losing this. It's tough. It's a slog. I want the false nine, but I need a striker. I've got Haaland. I remember when Haaland came in, everybody was saying, it's not going to work. That's not how Pep does his system. And he turned Holland into the monster that we see today because he just let him run free. He let them create for him and let him run free. Mikel Arteta has to get to that point. But I think the problem is a lot of Arsenal fans don't have the time or the patience to wait for you to figure it out. You've been here nearly 7 years, bro. If you haven't figured it out by now, you probably will never do it. And that's where we are. So big up Quadra again said Liverpool 5:30 Fulham tonight. And I'll probably leave before that. I'm hoping that Fulham dash Liverpool just because the Liverpools and the fans in my chat taking the mic. Brian Perez for your family. Yep, big up. Thanks for the words, everyone. Thank you for stopping by with everything you got on. Thank you for gracing my channel with your time and energy. So I appreciate it. Laura, again, you're welcome, lovely. And April is our bogey month, showing us why. Yep. And Lori said, as for you, Gooner Rican, your credit to your parents, and as a fellow NHS victim, A&E, kudos to you. People say it's a thankless job, but if you help one person daily, it's a good shift. And I work admin. I work kind of death administration, just general. So I deal with a lot of grieving families, and I deal with a lot of people who just, when someone dies, you just don't have a direction, especially when it comes to paperwork and kind of the next steps. So having dealt with that a lot in my job and in my personal life, I think that you always have to kind of have some sympathy for people because people take things a different way. But I just don't think it's ever good for you to blame yourself when you have to do what's best for you to kind of move forward. But yeah, like you said, if I help one person a day, it's a good shift. As I said, my background, as you guys may not know, it's in psychology and sociology, so kind of social sciences. That's what my degrees are in. And I want to be a counselor, man. One of these days, I do want to be a counselor because I've been through a lot in life, and there's a lot that sometimes people just need to talk about. They need to get off their chest, and they need to actually speak about. So I've always got time for that. And big up Dark Side for rating. I appreciate it. I'll get to it in a minute. But yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing as well, Lori. If I can help one person have a better day, if I can help one person have a better life, then yeah, it's worth it for me. And that's why I do this YouTube thing as well, right? I know that I'm a small channel. I may not ever make it to the Curtis Shaw level or whatnot, but if I have a group of people who I can talk to and get away. I mean, even now we're venting about football, we're having a conversation, and that's the thing I love about football and sports. For 2 hours or however many time it takes that you're watching your team, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Your bills don't matter. What's going on in life, you can just leave. I think what gets people is when you're watching Arsenal and it's so terrible. So now it's bad outside your life and it's bad inside your life. You know what I'm saying? That's where it gets you. But my channel, I want to be a place where people can just have a chat, talk about something, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's football, whether it's something else. And yeah, man, just get it off your chest, be easy, and go back and deal with life, man, because you never know what's happening in people's life. So if I can be a bright spark for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, then that means everything to me, more than, getting to 500,000 subscribers or 5,000 views. That doesn't matter to me, man. If I get 10 people in here viewing and having a good time, that means everything to me. So thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. Big up Dark Side again. Big up Gavin. Dark Side Raid. Chat, take a second and hit the thumbs up. And if you're new to the chat, hit the subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm close to 500. I haven't checked it. I don't know if I actually reached over 500. But before, when I started this 2 hours ago, I was 33 away. So thank you all for stopping by. Dappin's going up. Big up Quadra. Big up Gavin. Big up Static. Static always sends me the post match. Very good. So Static has a channel. He can put it in the chat if you want. Static. Yeah, subscribe to Static as well. I think well he has Instagram. I know he has Instagram. So make sure you subscribe. Get Static's link in there. Laurie says Static is in the building. Dark Side Raid. Hello to Laurie. Arteta's finished. Arteta's been finished. People are just catching on. That's pretty much what it is. Big up Dark Side. One of these days, Dark Side, man, we gotta get something going. Just have a chat about life as an Arsenal fan, because I've heard a couple of your things. I know that you as tired of this man as I am. So yeah. Subscribe to Dark Side. Yes, please do. And anybody who's coming here and got a channel, man, drop your channel in there. If I can help you get if I can get you, a couple more subscribers, man, that's good enough for me. And Larry said I'm subscribing just for a good man and fellow NHS worker. Thank you. I appreciate it. And stop by. As I said, I do shows. Jack is one of my regulars. 24 to 500. We close. Less than 25. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, I just try to be a community man. That's it. One like, share, and subscribe at a time. And Static Rican, I got the exact same Arsenals as you, shirts as you. Respect. Yeah, Static. I'll talk about them in a minute, but yeah, because that's what we do on this channel. I always in my channel talking about kits. You've seen this one before, but since I got so many new people, I'll tell the story. Jack said 24 likes to 500. I think he means subs. Shout out to Dark Side and 24 files. So I put these shirts up because I thought that the spirit of the Invincibles, the spirit of Highbury, will come down and fill our players and just take some of that bottle away. And as we saw, it didn't happen. But I got this one because it's got that on the back. And it's also got a Champions League on one bit. And it's got the Prem on the other bit. I like crazy shirts. So if I can get a shirt and it's got just, crazy things. This one is actually one of my first kits that I got when I first became an Arsenal fan 10 years ago. I didn't know much about the club, but I was looking for Arsenal kits. I think it was classic football shirts that I was looking on. Back then, I was living in Spain, and I said, yeah, Arsenal's going to be my team. And I saw this kit right here. I didn't know how iconic it was. I just said, you know what? I'll grab it because it's one of my favorite colors. The badge is in the middle. It's got Highbury on the back, and I knew that, I do my research. I knew it was a stadium. So I grabbed it, and I think, bro, I paid less. I had to pay less than £100 for it because, I was making chump change then. And yeah, real quick. Yes, I do Gooner Rican TV. Everything's Gooner Rican TV. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. And you can find me, of course, on YouTube because that's where you are. But yes, aka the Kit King. Yeah, man, I got so many. But yeah, I bought that one. I didn't know much about it, and it wasn't until like later, being a later Arsenal fan, and I was talking to somebody, and he was like, "Yeah, man, the iconic Highbury kit, man. Oh, I just want to get my hands on that." And I was like, "This one?" He's like, "How'd you get this kit?" I was like, "I bought it ages ago. I didn't know it was at the time. I didn't know what it was." And then I looked at it, and it was, yeah, iconic. So he was like, "Yeah, got it." I was like, "Shit, that's nice." But this one I bought recently because I just love the way the kit looks. Seeing Thierry Henry in it, the baggy joint. Yeah, I was like, it's iconic. I got to get that. And of course, this one that I'm wearing is from that season that we don't want to talk about. Probably the one where we should have won the league and embarrassed ourselves. So, yeah. When Jack calls me the Kit King, if you guys are new and you're still around, as I said, I do the Waffle House. If you have time, you can look back at some of the old ones. I have a collection of kits that I've collected over the last 10 years. I have over 100. And it's not just football kits. I got NBA kits, NFL football kits. I've got Prem kits, La Liga, because I used to live in Spain for 2 years. So I've got Sevilla kits. And I do have quite a few Arsenal kits. I tend to buy one a year. But then if I like kind of the third kit, I try to buy every home kit. And then if I like the third kit, I'll get that one. So I've got, that highlighter green, yellow one that we had a couple years back. I've got the pink kit as well because I like that one. Yeah, I've got the first iteration of the zigzag pattern. I have that kit as well. So one of these days, when I get enough people, I will go through the rest of my kits. But if you do want to see what kits I have, go check out the Last Waffle House. It's the op kits. I apologize in advance. I do have kits in there which are a little bit diabolical. But it was early when I didn't know anything about I didn't know much about the Prem. I grew up in Florida, so I grew up watching some Caribbean teams. I watched the Copa America. I didn't grow up very well off, so we didn't have cable. So I kind of watched whatever was on TV. And that's the lovely thing about the World Cup. The World Cup's on regular TV. So, I watched Ronaldinho and Ronaldo, OG Ronaldo. Ronaldinho's still one of the best players I've ever seen. And so I answered that one. And cool kit shows, part 1 and part 2 on the channel. Nice watch. Thank you so much. And Brian asked, do I collect programs? Hold on 1 second. Give me two shakes. All right. So I don't collect like programs in the kind of collecting everyone's programs, but I want to grab this. So I do have this thing. And I collect the ones of the matches that I've gone to. So I do have these. I have a few in here that I didn't go to. But my first ever match that I ever viewed as an Arsenal fan was 2019. It's my first ever Arsenal match. And this program is special to me because this was my introduction into knowing that Arsenal are a good team who occasionally loses to teams that they have no business losing to. My mate, Woody, he pops in the chat every now and then. He took me to this, and this was December 5th, 2019. I had been in the UK a year at that point. I spoke to him about being an Arsenal fan. He said, you know what? Because I was only here for uni. So I went to uni in the UK, went to University of Southampton. I thought that it was only going to be a 3-year thing. So I was already a year. I was like, I got 2 more years. He was like, you know what? We're going to get you to an Arsenal match, right? He took me to this match because he thought that it was an easy win. I'd have a good time. We lost 2-1. Brighton and Hove Albion. So that was my introduction. And then I ended up staying in the UK and we go a little bit more frequently. But no, to answer your question, I only collect the ones I've been to because my wife, who also pops into the chat, she thinks that I have too many collections of too many things. Like I have scarves from some of the matches I've been to. And yeah. She won't allow me to collect anything else. So yeah. And I think I skipped this. My bad, Thunder Road. He said Butter Pecan Rican. That's me, my friend. And Lori said, I love a lot of our kids, but I have to say Puma or Truly. Bro, Puma off, like, this is my thing. And I remember, and I promise I'll get off in a bit, but thank you so much for stopping by and watching. But I promise, like, Puma, when we first started, that's who I started under as an Arsenal fan. Bro, I remember wearing a Puma kit. I got an extra large. And at that time I was a large. I'm an extra large now. This is an extra large. And I remember getting an extra large kit. I was a large at the time. They were like, oh, Puma kits run, they run a little bit tight. Bro, 2016, I put that joint on. And it was that one where the line was running down and you could see Olivier Giroud's heartbeat because it was so tight. And I'm thinking, all right, I'll go a size down. It'll be snug. Bro, it was tight then. I was like, bro, I got to go 2 sizes. But, yeah, some of Puma's kits that they made for us, I mean, to be fair, Lord, some of that one with like the raindrops that you guys have and the highlighter, bro, that thing is disgusting. Disgusting. Not a fan. I know what it's supposed to be and it's what's supposed to symbolize, but it's ugly. It's ugly. So yeah, Adidas, I can at least say they've done well at kits. The last kit show I had, we looked at the World Cup kits, and yeah, Puma's World Cup kits left a lot to be desired. I just say that. Ignition said maybe we needed that wake up call if Bournemouth and Man United can do this to us in our backyard. I was at that Man United game, by the way, Ignition. That was the first match this season I've been to, the Man United game. I went to that match because I thought we were going to show up. It's Man United. It's our rivals. I thought we put in a performance. Nope, we didn't. We embarrassed ourselves. So, yeah. And then I decided to go to another game, which was the Everton game that Max Dowman saved us in. So I got to watch his first goal. But, yeah. We should go out there and play for the win at Etihad. Our players can still save the season. And that's a good point. I think that our players have the quality, if they're allowed, to just let things go. We have to just let things go. And be free. Because we're not going to win playing defensive football. If he can just say, you know what, I'm letting the shackles off, then I think we can get something. I think the players have enough to get us over the line. But our manager has to be strong enough to just say, you know what, guys, it's time. It's time to let us go. It's time for me to let you fly and let you be the players that I know that you can be. So I agree. Real Ricans live in New York. Florida's for the Cubans. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The New York Ricans, bro, they think they, you know what I'm saying? The New York Ricans, they're the hottest thing since sliced bread. But guess what? We closer to Puerto Rico, so we actually go back to Puerto Rico. So I would argue that, Miami Puerto Ricans are a little bit closer to home. I'm just saying. But my grandma actually did live in New York for a time, and then they moved to Florida because I think it was closer and cheaper to get back to Puerto Rico. But I have a lot of respect for New York Ricans because they keep our culture going. New York is the hotbed of international trade and stuff, and when you have Puerto Ricans there, we're all over the joint. That's why I love Benito. So yeah, definitely real Puerto Rican over here. I love Puerto Rican. I'm only half Puerto Rican though. The other half is handsome. Just kidding. But yeah. Rican, you have to trust the process. Super Duper Mikhail said, bring our lunch and dinner. Bring our shin pads was the other one. Bring our boots. What else can we bring, Mikhail? Bring your wills and testaments, bring your 401ks. I don't know. Bring your marriage certificates. What else can we bring, Mikhail, to help you actually put in a performance? I don't know. There's nothing more I can bring. I ain't got nothing else to bring you, bro. I'm bringing you the whole house at this point, and you still ain't showing me nothing. It's goofy. But thank you, Rodney, for stopping by. And Jack Swagger said, Adidas is best for kits. Yeah, we looked them over, man. They were great. Adidas kits were amazing. And as I told you guys, I'm still gonna get that Spain kit, so I'll have it. But yeah, we'll talk about kits. I promise. There's more kit streams coming. Brian said, I went with my brother and some of his mates who are not Chelsea fans to the Cup Winners' Cup final in 1998, but didn't get a program. They ran out, only printed 50. That's crazy. Why would they only print 50? I bet you they're worth a nice bit, though. If they only made 50, probably worth a pretty penny. But I think the memory is more than anything. But yeah, it's just something. My mate the first time he was like, "You want a program?" And then I was like, it's something that I could I could have like, oh, look at this. Look at this. Berlino and Hodinho, right? If you want to talk about comebacks, Rob Holding's hairline. That guy, listen, if you need a hair transplant, bro, Rob Holding should be a guy that you're looking at and you're saying, I can turn my fortunes around. Because Rob Holding's hairline was going and he went to Turkey and looked amazing. Rodney said, Rican, you should already know Man United turned up against it. Yeah, man. Like I had the Man United fans in the chat. They were just, bro, the first 30 minutes of this was just me getting dish ragged by all the rivals. And now they've all left. They've gotten tired. They're going to get their dinners. And yeah, I'm here with 98 of you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. We had 43 likes. Let me see. And we are 24 away from 500. If one of the 100 of you guys are in here and haven't subscribed, if 25 of you can subscribe, I'd appreciate it. We on the road to 500, and I would definitely love if we could get there. We don't have to get there during the screen. But yeah, if you're new to it and you like it, hit the subscribe. I do shows. I'm not as frequent as, you know, some of your favorites like Shane and Views and those, just because, as I said, I do work for the NHS and I can't record every day because, you know, I have to work. But yeah, I'm around. I do still got the Club World Cup ticket in America. You know what, Brian, now that you're in, and I'll end with this, right? This is it. I just have a question to somebody who went, because obviously I'm in the UK now. How was the experience for the Club World Cup? Was that a good experience? Because for me, right, and I know we're getting off topic, but this is what usually happens on the Rican Reaction, because Arsenal usually embarrass us so bad that we start talking about other things. And I'm glad that you guys have kind of stuck around with me. But when it comes to the World Cup, I'm just not excited for it. You know, I don't support America, right? So I'm in here. I'm not an American fan when it comes to football. I've never liked the way they play football. Even when I was a kid watching Gus and Bob Bradley, you know, run around and do pirouettes, and then watching Ronaldinho and Riquelme and them dudes, you know, the real players watch, you know. I was even enjoying watching Guillermo Ochoa and go for Mexico when I was enjoying watching America. So yeah, I support Puerto Rico first, but we never really make the World Cup. Big up Curacao. Excuse me. Big up Curacao. And Haiti. Big up Curacao and Haiti for the Caribbean. But yeah, I don't watch the US. I have England kits and Spain kits. Those are the two teams that I usually support when it comes to international. And Rodney asked me, Rican, are you Arteta out? I'll end on this. I always say I'll end on this, but because I said I was only going to be here an hour. We're here 2 hours and 45. Thank you all, legends. And it's 96 of you in the building. Hit those likes if you can, if you liked it. You stuck around this long. Hit a like. It really helps out. And if you haven't, 25 of you, 96 of you, hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. I'll be around. I promise. Big up to Dark Side and everybody who rated me. I think I got like 3 raids. I appreciate it. But to answer your question, when it comes to Mikel Arteta, oh, he said Cup Winners' Cup. My bad. I'm sorry. Cup Winners' Cup. Yeah, man. That's crazy. BBK, yep. Thank you for BBK. Everybody who rated me, everybody, Dark Side, BBK. I'll never forget BBK. BBK is Taryn is one of my favorite people to watch. Because I grew up around people like Taryn, like Jamaicans and Caribbeans. My bad, Brian. You know, you've been to trophies I've never seen, so I mix them up. You know, Club World Cup, I've seen you win that. You know, I've seen you win the Champions League. I've seen you win the actual league. it's just hard to keep up with all this Chelsea has won when I'm sitting here, scraping my hands together and please give me a Premier League. Please, can I have just a little bit of the Champions League? I'll take a Europa League, please. Like, that's where I am. So my apologies. Right, back to Rodney. See this, my brain all over this joint. Am I Arteta out? I have been since December. I've been under the impression that Arteta should leave regardless. Just because he's been here 7 years, he's gotten an ungodly amount of money. And as a coach myself, I don't coach on his level, but a coach myself, I used to coach in the summer and the winter, and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It takes a lot out of you, but you're coaching 38 games, you're coaching 50 games. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. It takes a toll on your body and your mentality as a coach. You've done it for 7 years. And you haven't won anything. And I know it's got to be frustrating. The biggest of narcissists will be frustrated if they don't win anything. Thank you, Brian, for sticking around. Lori, thank you so much for sticking around as well. And I hope you come back. I hope that, you guys come back. You're always welcome. But when it comes to Arteta, at this point right now, Ryan, to answer your question, I believe that he should go regardless. If we win the title, I can't see us improving. It's taking you $1.3 billion to get to a title. I don't think that you're just going to keep improving. I think you're going to ask for more money and want more money and want a little bit more to go. And I don't think the Cronkies, I don't think the board will give it to you. Another question that you ask yourself is, if we win the title, do you see us under this manager progressing to the Champions League next season? Do you see us retaining? Like, do you see us kicking on and becoming a dynasty? I can't right now. So to answer your question, at this moment in time, I think he should go regardless. Now, I know that if he wins the title, he'll get his extension and he'll stay. But for me, if you win the title next season, you got to win the Champions League or retain the title. You have to. If you lose the title, win the Champions League, next year you got to win the title. Because we're gonna keep him on if he wins the trophy. If you win nothing and win 2 cups, you get another season. But now you got to win the Champions League or the Premier League again. If you don't do those things and you go 2 years without winning, you got to get your P45 and go. So, yeah. So, Brian says, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you as well. And big up to your family as well, Brian. Laurie says, blessings here, family. Yep. And Laurie also says, thanks again for the welcome, and I'll be back. No Arnie Crips necessary. Love Arnie, man. But yeah, so I'll end with that because we have gone on for 2 hours and 48 minutes. And I'll end with how I usually end my shows. I hope that everything that you want to happen in your life happens. I hope that everything that's holding you back and not good for you, I hope that you get rid of it. I hope that you get rid of everything that's not serving you well. And I also hope that in the next week, it's better than the last one. I hope that whatever team you support does well. I hope that whatever you have going on in life, it doesn't impact you to the point where, where it's detrimental. But I hope for the best for everyone who watches me. And I hope that you return back to Gooner Rican TV. I hope you return back to the Rican Reactions. I hope you return back to the Waffle House. And I hope that you just have a good week, man. If you're an Arsenal fan, I hope that you don't allow this to get to you. I hope that I'll see you on Wednesday. And if you're not an Arsenal fan, stop by the Waffle House. Enjoy yourself. Get your mind off of football. Have a chat about life. And I hope that everything's good for you. So with that, you guys take it easy. And because I'm an Arsenal fan, wait. I'll be nice. Hold on, wait, because everyone hasn't left me. And I think I can't redirect anybody, but I can say who's on, at least. I think I think that's good enough. Let's see who's on at the moment. Is there anyone? So there's a couple people on. Roster Stocks is on. If you want to go over there, he's watching FC Bayern versus St. Pauli. True Cop Art Reds. Actually, True Cop Art Reds, if you guys are Liverpool fans, it looks like he's doing a watch along. So if you want to go over there, yeah, you can say Gooner Rican Raid or whatever. But I hope you guys have a good day, man. I hope you have a good day. And Brian says, I'll leave on this note. Hope we beat Manchester City tomorrow. I hope you do as well. Because the delusional part of me says that we can still win. The rational part of me says that it's over. Maybe if Chelsea do us a favor, we can still hope again. But I think we'll come back to reality that, Manchester City still has our number. And Loris ends with, oh, Brian, you crossed the line there. Yeah, Manchester City versus Chelsea. It'll be a good match. I hope for a draw, just so that you all can be, I guess, both happy, because you're in the chat. So take it easy. And as I said, hope everything goes well for you. I hope you get rid of the things that aren't good for you. And I hope that football is an escape. I hope football is an escape, even the good, the bad, and the ugly. I hope it's an escape for you. And I hope that you have the greatest week you can. Take it easy. Salute. And I'll see you on the next one. Big up.